In the capital, it is Hibernian against Rangers. Full live commentary here on Sportsound and BBC Radio Scotland with Andy Halliday, Scott Allen and Liam McLeod.
The latest chapter in this intriguing Premiership season sees Rangers cross the M8 to take on Hibernian at a ground they've enjoyed great success at in recent times. 16 visits to Easter Road without defeat. They've won 9, drawn 7 of those. And as was pointed out by the Hibs manager himself during his pre-match interview, they haven't beaten Rangers at home in a top-flight match since September 2006. Chris Killen got both goals. He was also sent off, as was Rangers' Phil Bardsley. Rangers scored their goal through Philip Sheebo. It was Tony Mowbray against Paul Le Guen. All names from the dim and distant past, which underlines how long it's been since Hibernian have enjoyed victory over Rangers at the top table inside their own stadium. Can they do their neighbours a favour? That's the question. How many of the Hibs fans want their team to do Hearts a favour? It's another question, but perhaps it's a question for another time as the two sets of players prepare to do battle here. Matthew McDermott down below us is in charge of proceedings. He's got the match ball. He's about to spot it up in the centre. Hibs have Salinger in goal, Bashiri, Hanley and Iredale at the back, Megwa, Chaiwa, Barlasa, Urbita, Newell, Boyle, Johan. Rangers with Butland in goal, Sterling, Suter, Fernandes, Mekhoma, Chikwani, Asgard and Raskan, with Scott Olsen and Gassama either side of Sharmiti. It's going to be Hibs to kick off in the green and white. They'll shoot from left to right towards the south stand, the southern end of the stadium, with Rangers shooting right to left, wearing the all orange and white towards the famous 5 end. And just about ready to go here. Hibs without Kieran Bowie now, of course. They've got a few new signings on the bench. Rangers with a few new signings in their starting 11. It's going to be a very interesting afternoon here in the Port of Leith. A pleasant day here at the start of February. Hibs kick off through Boyle, rolls it back to Salinger, and it's a long ball with the right foot down the throat of the pitch there, because all the way to Johan, he gets the little flick onto it. However, they weren't able to capitalise on anything there as that broke towards Chaiwa, who's down. Actually might well need some treatment in the opening seconds of the match here. Goal kick to Rangers, and indeed the referee's indicating the Hibs medical team have to come on to tend to Chaiwa, who's down just inside the Rangers penalty area. Really fascinating match-up this afternoon. Scott Allen and Andy Halliday, who are watching this with me.
Yeah, I think all eyes are on what's going to be a massive game today. Obviously pressure's back on Rangers given Hearts' result yesterday. It was just a bit of an innocuous challenge between Fernandes and Chaiwa, but you've got to say at this moment in time it doesn't look too great for his midfielder. Still down receiving treatment. Fernandes still moving a wee bit gingerly, but let's hope from a Hibs point of view he's okay.
Yeah, it was a really strange one, off just the long ball. I think Johan wins the flick on, and then I think it's Fernandes and Chaiwa. They're just a strange coming together, and he is still down. But I'm looking at that Hibs bench already, whether they have to go. Would it be a debut for Kai Andrews, obviously, who's came in on loan to the end of the season from Coventry? I think, Andy, you've played with him. You said he was a nice football player. Maybe give something different to this Hibs team today. Obviously with Jamie McGrath, who's been a real creative force in this Hibs side.
Yeah, Kai done very well in his loan spell at Motherwell. Someone that's really comfortable in possession, really good in tight areas, and you expect the type of game it's going to be today, that Hibs are going to need a lot of composure on that midfield, try and get their foot in the ball, move it about, make Rangers defend, and Kai's certainly somebody that's capable of that. But you've got to say it's good to see Chaiwa back up and moving now.
Yeah, it looks like he might be okay. He's just being helped off the pitch just now. He'll have to enter the fray from another point down there. It will be a goal kick for Butland to take. Less than a minute play the football, and we are over the 2-minute mark on the clock as Suter takes the ball out of defence and rolls it with the right foot to this left hand side, where it's collected by Chukwuani, who took on Rangers earlier on in the season in the Europa League, playing for Sturm Graz. He was also sent off playing against Celtic for the Austrians in the same tournament, as that ball's flighted out to Mekoma on this near side. Back to Gassama, attacking the left-hand side of the Hibs box. Rolls it to Asgard at the edge of the area. It's deflected over the crossbar. And Rangers have a corner. It's the first time they've sprung to life here. And it was good build-up play, positive from Rangers as Chaiwa comes back on for Hibs. The first corner of the match goes to the visitors.
Well, I think when Chaiwa went off injured there for a period, I was expecting Hibs to rejig and go back to a midfield three, make it compact to get back on the pitch, but they kept the two up front. Rangers moved the ball really nicely. John Suter with a lovely ball on the left-hand side. Asgard finds a pocket of space at the edge of the box, lets fly, deflected out for a corner. First real test for Hibs.
Scouse-born Norwegian will take the corner and swing it on this near side. The ref's not happy with something. He's having a word with Rocky Bashiri. He's come to the edge of the box to speak to the match official.
Just on that, Liam, and Rocky Bashiri on that right hand side of the back three, you see there he's so overzealous to come out and win the ball. He just makes Gassama's mind up when the ball's played in. He just steps by him as if he's not there. He's got to just get there and stand and make Gassama beat him. He made his mind up for him.
Rangers, one of the sides strong on set plays. As it comes in, it comes off a Hibs body and over the bar again. In fact, it's taking a touch off a Rangers player last because the goal kick's been awarded, but it was flicked towards the goal, bounced off a Hibernian player, and then over the bar off a visiting attacker, and it will be a goal kick, which is taken quickly by Salinger. It looked like that was going to creep in the net.
It was a good ball in by Tello Asgard. I'm not sure who it was at the near post. It might have been Nico Raskin that flicks it off. Rangers players not too happy. They felt as if it came off a knee of a Hibs defender and directed it over the bar, but we spoke about it. They're so dangerous for set pieces, Rangers, and the first opportunity they get, again, looks as if it could nearly lead to a goal.
Rangers, Hearts and Dundee United, probably the most potent sides from set plays this season, as Boyle comes forward for Hibs down this right hand side of the byline. He's got his cross ball in, good header away there by John Suter, threw himself at it, left hand side of the 6-yard box, and out it goes off a high beat for a Rangers throw in on this near side. 0-0, 4.5 play.
It's what Martin Boyle's good at. He just always gives you that ball down the side because of his pace, always looking as a willing runner. And listen, he does what we spoke about in terms of making Rangers defend. He just puts a ball in the box. Actually defended really well from Suter here. He readjusts, gets across to that front post area and defends it well, but a good sign of life there from Hibs.
It is a Rangers throw in about level with the edge of the centre circle. Mekoma with it and bowls it back to Fernandez. In turn goes back to Jack Butland, who's kept 14 clean sheets. This is his 40th match of the season. Fighting on all fronts. Mekoma collects and rolls it into Chikwani, who goes back to Fernandez. Long ball with the right foot coming up down that right hand side, trying to get Skov Olsen involved. Headed away by Obita, breaks to Raskan, who goes back down the line to John Sterling, who finds Suter, who slips it side foot to Gassama, central position in the centre circle, looking for Asgard, cut out by Joe Newell, who rolls it back to Salinger. You'd be, Scott, pleased to see Joe Newell back in the Hibs starting 11 for a league match, first time in over a year.
Yeah, someone I know really well. Spent time for Rotherham and then time in the Hibs team with him. Listen, lovely football player, but as you touched on there, he's not played for such a long time. He is a club captain, so a lot of responsibility on his shoulders today. And I'm just looking there at Leona, who's in.
Suter's popped it through to Mekoma. The Hibs defence static. Mekoma left hand side of the 6-yard box. Low ball across is blocked, and it falls kindly for Salinger. I think the ref might be pulling it back for something anyway, but it was a little bit ominous there as the offside decision was eventually given against Jaden Mekoma, but they took a chance there. Hibs a very high line.
They did. I mean, it was the position of Jedi Gassama for me. It attracted Rocky Bashiri out of space, and Megwa just wasn't aware of that run from Mekoma. Mekoma's got to do better for me as well, Liam. I know the offside flag goes up, but he doesn't judge the flight of the ball. He then takes a poor touch under his feet. Skov Olsen was free at the back post if he could have flashed that across first time, but I think it's been promising signs early for Rangers.
One ball forward for Hibs. Up it comes to this right hand side for Chaiwa on the touchline. Challenge coming from Chikwani and then cleared by Mekoma. Breaks to Gassama, heads it forward looking for Shamiti. Gets it on its way there with a head to Asgard, just still inside his own half here though. Asgard's, well, he's spotted Skov Olsen too late there, and Hibs have ransacked him and won it back, and it's with Johan. Low ball out to Obita. Johan now level with the Rangers 6-yard line, left hand side of the box. Asgard battling, trying to win it back. Down goes Johan, no foul. Obita on the far side, he goes down, and eventually it goes Hibs' way, but it's just going to be, I think, a A throw-in over on the far side. If he has given a free kick, it's in a fabulous position. But there's another medical intervention required for Chaiwa, who might have to succumb to this now. He was down inside the opening minute of the game, 7.5 on the clock. It remains nothing each, and Chaiwa is receiving more treatment here as Scott Allen once again peruses the Hibs bench.
Yeah, I wonder who we'd bring in there. Would they bring Dylan Levitt or a debut for Kai Andrews? Listen, it doesn't look good. That's obviously the second time he's been down since the start of the game. You would imagine Dave has to make a substitution.
Yeah, the signals just came there. I think Chaiwa's afternoon's over.
We're about to find out, Liam.
It's Kai Andrews.
Kai Andrews, yeah.
So there you go. He's come here with high hopes of a good loan spell, which could see him playing at the very highest level down there, on loan from Coventry, who are gunning for promotion this season to the top flight in England. And I think the feeling down there seems to be that he's got every chance, Andy, who played with him, of performing at that level.
Yeah, he's highly thought of down there. He made his debut, I think he was 18 years of age. He obviously got a taste of first team football and then wanted to get that loan move and play more games, and that's exactly what he done when he came to Motherwell. I thought he made a great impact on and off the field. Lovely boy in the changing room as well, and I think his attributes actually really suit this Hibernian side. I think Hibs in the midfield area especially, I think we've got a lot of athleticism. Kai's someone that likes to get his foot on the ball, dictate the tempo of the game, but obviously it's not great circumstances for him to make his debut, because I think Hibs, I mean, they really don't want an injury in that area of the pitch. They've already missing Josh Mulligan and Jamie McGrath. The reason Kai Andrews was brought in was probably because of the injuries in that area of the pitch, but he's got an opportunity to come on really early in this game and show what he can do.
Yeah, that's the substitution confirmed, as you would have heard in the background. On he comes for a debut. Kai Andrews, as Andy was saying, was at Motherwell second half of last season. He made his Wales debut last September in a friendly against Canada. Coventry Academy graduate here for the second half of this season. He's lurking around about the edge of the box. This is just a throw-in for Hibs over on the east stand side, level with the Rangers penalty spot, bowled into the box, headed half away by Suter. Newell with the snapshot, still alive. Bushiri trying to knock it back towards Newell, who goes down, and it falls back into the gloves of Jack Butland and stays Hibs nil, Rangers nil, as we tick on to 10 minutes.
There was a decent opportunity there for Hibs. Ball pinballed in the box, and Joe Newell just couldn't get the ball out his feet to get a true strike on it. Again, Hibs showing problems, just being direct. And I thought that would be interesting today, because obviously they don't have that physical presence of Bowie at times already. They've went long, but it's to Ewan and Boyle, who you would say they're the guys you want to get in the space behind.
Rangers have it with Skov Olsen wide in the right of the Hibs box. Low ball across is cut out, had to be there by Barlasser. Eventually off a Rangers boot behind for a goal kick to Hibernian.
Theo Asgard causing Hibs real problems in there. He's playing behind, whether it's Barlasser or Joe Newell, and Iredale or Grant Hanley are not too keen to step in with him. And that's one where you have to have communication between both units. He's picking up really good positions. Rangers just haven't exploited it as of yet.
Salinger playing it short there to Iredale over on the left, and it's a long ball forward which is headed away, and it's gone straight to Sharmiti. He's now driving at the Hibs box, gets away from Hanley, and it's open up for him, but then he waits too long and decided against the shot, tried to poke it through to Gassama, who's claiming it's a corner. It will be a Hibs goal kick only, and the home team getting away with one there.
They are. You've got to say, I mean, Yusuf Chamiti's performance levels for me have certainly went up over the last few weeks or so, but again, in the instances, I just think he lacks that conviction of a goal scorer. I mean, he does ever so well. Lovely step over, drops the right hand shoulder, works on his left, and the gap opens up for him to have a shot 20 yards out, but it tries to slip Gassama in. I've got to say, to me, it did look like a corner, but again, you know, Chamiti's just got to let fly there.
Rangers with Raskan, little ball out to the left for Gassama, he manages to knock it back to Chikwani, rolls it to the edge of the centre circle for Asgard, and then turns it out to Sterling on the right. Skov Olsen ahead of him. It's now at the feet of the Denmark international, level with the Hibs penalty spot. Rolls it back to Sterling, and in field to the right angle of the box for Asgard, back out to Sterling, down the line to Skov Olsen, into Asgard, back to Skov Olsen, and then to Sterling again, and eventually back to the halfway line for the Rangers skipper for the afternoon, John Suter, with James Tavernier among the substitutes for the visitors. Currently sitting second in the Premiership, 7 adrift apart. as the ball trundles behind for the goal kick to Hibs again. If you're off to Celtic Park, the team news is in for that match. Michael in goal for Celtic: Arojo, Murray, Scales, Tierney, McGregor, Engels, Nygren, Yang, Maida, Chvanchara. And for Falkirk, who are the visitors, in tremendous form in that spectacular win over Hibs, who we are watching this afternoon last week: Bain, Adams, McCann, Henderson, Spencer, Alan Tate, Wilson, Miller, Marsh, and last week's hat-trick hero Barney Stewart. So that is the Falkirk lineup, and they go to Celtic Park. They've lost a couple of times this season, shipping 4 goals on each occasion, including in the League Cup. And that game kicks off at 3 o'clock. Sportsound covering both matches this afternoon, and there will be a split for the first half of that. What have you made of it so far? It's been a little bit kind of stop-start.
Yeah, I thought Hibs would put a lot more pressure on Rangers in possession. I think at this moment in time they're quite happy for them to have the ball at the back and just kind of sit in their shape and make it difficult for Rangers. But at this moment in time it's quite easy for Rangers to find pockets of space. They're now attacking down this right-hand side with Scott Wilson as we speak.
Rangers winning it back in the midfield. Scott Wilson, as Andy says, has it, knocks it to Raskan out wide left for Meghoma, faced by Megwa. Ball forward to Sharmiti. It's not a great touch, he might get a second chance, although he is fouled Bushiri, so that's going to be a free kick here to Hibernian, just to the edge of their box. And it's a little ball by Salinger to the left there for Iredale, and in field it goes to Barlasser, who's in the anchor role there in the midfield, and then out to the left it goes to Iredale and then to Grant Hanley. Hibs struggling really to get a foothold in the match. They've not been able to utilise the pace of Boyle and Johan so far, but Boyle's driving through, though he's fouled Fernandez, and that will be a free kick to Rangers in frustration for the home fans.
That's one way you can see that Hibs are trying to they're trying to exploit the space in behind. They're working it wide. You've obviously got Barlas on one side, Joe Newell on the opposite side of the midfield. It goes to the full back. They're looking to play that wee square one inside and then just shape it in behind and try and get Johan and Boyle down the sides of the Rangers defence. They just haven't quite executed the pass yet.
Some breaking news from Livingston this afternoon that David Martindale is being moved into a new position as sporting director at the club, and will move on from his role as the men's first team manager. It's in a Livingston statement. Up. And it's just not got going yet, Scott. No, it's the early injury to Chaiwa has done something to the flow, but it just hasn't started really.
No, it just hasn't caught fire. You're right, Liam. Listen, I think Hibs are obviously looking to try and get down the sides. They just haven't kept the ball long enough for me to really move this Rangers back four. And Rangers have worked the ball into good positions, but it's what we've... It's a great position from Gassama there off the back of the midfield again.
Driving across the halfway line. It's a poor ball to Scott Olsen, which is cut out, and Hibs have it. It's Andrews, he's given it straight to Sterling wide on that right hand side though. Rangers up the pitch here, aim for Chukwani, well won back though by Andrews, who gave it away in the first place, and now it's with Boyle looking to turn it into the path of Johan. It's blocked on the halfway line, and Rangers have it back with Raskan out to Scott Olsen, taking on Iredale. Little ball for Raskan. The sliding Iredale can't get there, breaks back to Scott Olsen into the box, but Joe Newell's there in the spoiler role. Gets it clean up towards his fellow Hibs stalwart Boyle, who drives across the halfway line. Chukwani does a good job himself there though. He gets between Boyle and the ball, wins it back for Rangers, and back it comes to Butland. Both teams culpable right now of giving the ball away very cheaply.
Yeah, they are. What I've noticed so far, Liam, is when Hibs have possession, that Jordan Obita has almost gone up into the left midfield position, but as soon as Rangers win the ball back, it seems as if Scott Olsen has acres of space as Rangers attack down the left hand side.
Yeah, good play by Meghoma. He's away from Megwa, gets the low ball across, cleared by Hanley, controlled on the chest by Barlasser, facing his own goal, and he turns it forward up to this near side for Johan, who goes back to Megwa. Megwa's long ball looking for Andrews, asking way too much of him though. It comes straight through to Suter, who rolls it back to Butland. Hibs nil, Rangers nil, 18 on the clock.
We talked about Rangers, struggling to create chances of open play. I think we've already seen instances why in the first 18 minutes. Find themselves in some great positions, but whether it be poor decision making off final ball, still not really created a great opportunity for open play. But as I was saying, Jordan Obita in possession for Hibs is going into that left midfield position, but as soon as Hibs lose the ball, there's acres of space for Scott Olsen to the right hand side. JD Gassama just had another opportunity to slide them in, doesn't get the pass right, so this moment in time Rangers need to take more care.
Scott Olsen driving forward, might have just got back on side. He's in the box, right hand side, covering a couple of Hibs players there. Obita's one of them, goes back to Asgard. It's a poor ball in and easily cleared by Neil, but it's out for a Rangers throw in level with the Hibs penalty spot over on the right hand side as the sun shines down on the east stand over on the far side here in the capital.
I would like to see a bit more belief from Scott Olsen. He's found himself in some good areas. It never looks like he wants to really go and go buy a Hibs player. Happy to just come back out and play it to one of his teammates, but there's no getting away from it in the final third. Some of the decision making from both teams, it's been the wrong pass, wrong execution, passing it too early, and it's been I spoke about it at the top of the show. That was my one thing, and as much as Rangers are getting wins, when they get to the final third, I feel a lot of the times that is the case. Wrong execution and decision making has been letting them down. Andy touched on there, McGoma, he just has to hang the ball up. You get someone with the physicality of Chirmity, let him go and attack the ball, and he hits the first man.
It's been pretty flat so far. Here come Rangers. Asgard, right hand side of the box. Scott Olsen back to Asgard, tries to chip the ball into the box. It's cut out. Two Hibs players threw themselves at it, and the hosts get it clear. Fernandez on the turn under pressure from Johan, knocks it back into his own half for Suter. Suter taking his time over this before rolling it out with the right foot to the right hand side for Sterling. Down the line for Scott Olsen, up against Iredale, level of the 6 yard line, making for the byline, cuts back there for Sterling. It's the first time right foot cross ball in. It's headed away by Grant Hanley and out for a throw in on the far side to Rangers again, level to the 18 yard line.
Rangers finding plenty of space down that right hand side again. Iredale and Obita not getting their distances right. Rangers not managed to capitalise so far, but if you keep giving the quality of Scott Olsen the ball down that side, you'd expect him to make something happen sooner rather than later.
John Suter marauding forward, running into Newell. He fouls the Rangers captain, and Rangers have a free kick about 25 plus yards from goal, slightly right of centre. But Matthew McDermott immediately blew the whistle when Newell made the challenge.
I thought Newell had won the ball from our viewpoint, to be honest, Liam. I thought the ball was there to be won. Yes, it was a bit full-blooded, but looked to me as if he got his foot on the ball first. But an opportunity here for Rangers.
No monitors for the guys up at the back of the main stand here at Easter Road, so we'll only get one little look at it when it happens live. There will be a free kick to Rangers here, and an opportunity perhaps for Asgard or Scott Olsen, who are standing over it at the moment. Second appearance for Andreas Scott Olsen, who's on loan from Wolfsburg, 40 times capped by Denmark. He's still very much part of the Danish national setup. He was on the bench as an unused substitute in the game in Copenhagen at the start of the World Cup qualifiers last September, though he wasn't involved in the match in November in Glasgow. He and Asgard are very interested in this free kick. It's a 4-man Hibs wall. And an opportunity here, just under 30 yards from goal. Asgard takes, comes off the wall and spins behind for the corner on the left-hand side of the goal frame on this near side. Kind of lacked conviction, that one. 22 tepid minutes into the match in Leigh. Hibs nil, Rangers nil.
We showed a couple of weeks ago against Annan at Ibrox he's capable for that sort of distance, but didn't quite get the power behind it. Hibs all does their job, deflects out for a corner. Rangers one corner so far, led to an opportunity. Can they get another from the second?
Let's find out. Asgard in swinger with the right foot coming up, famous 5 end. In it comes, the goalkeeper punches it away. Boyle helps it clear, and now Boyle might be able to get back onto it himself as he drives down this right hand side across the halfway line. He's only got Johan up in support. Others are arriving now as well, including Barlaser. Boyle still has it, right hand side of the box. A poor low ball into the area, and will be Meghoma who will take over and slips it out to Raskan on this near side. And then back to Jaden Meghoma inside his own penalty area. gets the ball forward. I think Scott Olsen was the target. It's going straight through to Iredale, though. Now it's with Bushiri. Out to Megwa. And then infield to Newell. This is a game you normally see goals in. Normally for both teams, but Rangers have won the 3 so far this season to 0, including in the League Cup quarters at Ibrox. 1-0 win here thanks to Danilo. And there was a 1-0 at Ibrox just before Christmas as well. Fernandes scored the only goal. It's Hibs down the left-hand side of the Rangers box. Johan gets the cross in. Newell's header! Oh, he's got it all wrong and hits it well wide. What a huge opportunity it was. The best of the match, really, for either side. But certainly for Hibs. Joe Newell threw himself at it, ran about the penalty spot. Kind of halfway between the spot and the 6-yard line, and he's put it well wide in the end. Huge chance, stays 0-0.
A huge chance for Hibs there. Listen, it was the first time that the wee bit of control, they worked the ball. Kai Andrews worked it wide. And Elian just helps the ball into the box. He just helps the ball into the box, and there's Joe Newell. He's got to make the goalkeeper make a save.
Yeah, from a Rangers point of view, I thought it was really poor for John Souttar. He tries to step up and play offside, but Fernandes and Magoma are 5 yards deeper. It says a lovely little pick out for Eli Yuan. Rangers have found themselves in a very similar position 3 or 4 times already in this game. Yuan does the right decision, stands it up. Joe Newell arriving in the box.
There was a flag anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
However, it's I'll be disappointed for Joe Newell. He's not made better contact with that. Just little things like that can get a team going. As Rangers pick up with Fernandes on the near side, rolls it back to Chikwani. And into his own half for Souttar. Forward it comes to Asgard. He's got Skov Olsen to his right, made a decent run, slipped instead to the right. Square ball to Raskan, who's got Sterling over on the right touchline. Little ball in field to Raskan again, attacking the penalty area. Shimmies it through towards Asgard, it's gone straight to Bushiri, can just lump it clear. It's not been a classic here in Edinburgh, 25 in, 0-0.
Anytime Rangers look dangerous is when they play in behind Hibs' backline. So again, Hibs just not getting their distances right.
They'll want to get Gassama involved in the right areas of the pitch as well, because he's picking it up inside his own half there. If they can get Gassama and Skov Olsen into those wide positions, that might be a route for them. As Asgard plays it to the right side for Sterling, down the line for Skov Olsen, up against Iredale. Taking him on, right foot cross, ball comes in, it's decent towards the back post, headed down by Meghoma. A couple of optimistic appeals for a penalty. For handball is Hibs clear. Johan wins it in the air against Souttar. Now he's driving forward left hand side. Boyle up there if he needs him. Into the box goes Johan, left foot shot, beaten away by Butland. Raskan with a header. Johan picks up the scraps, left hand side of the box, lays it back to Obita, who crosses in. It's too high for Megwa, and it will go out of play for a throw-in on this near side for Rangers. But it is better from Hibs and really good from Eli Johan.
Really good from Eli Johan. He wins the duel, really aggressive, has the focus, he wants to go and win the ball. He does so, he then travels 20 yards with the ball. Raskan does well to recover and show him down the line. He just shapes outside them and hits a shot with the left foot. It's a comfortable save from Jack Butland, but positive from Hibs in it. Listen, it's nothing pretty. It's just a ball helped into a space, 2 guys going to win the duel, and Johan wanting to be the guy who wins it and managed to get a shot away, but Rangers yet just looking at them, they're recovering.
Brilliant from Boyle against Chukwani, winning it back to the edge of the box. Andrews has it onto his left foot. Is he going to get a shot away here? No, but he's able to roll it to Johan, who does shoot, picks his spot. It's a brilliant save from Jack Butland, who puts it behind for the corner. Hibs have flashed into life in these last couple of minutes. 2 saves from Butland, Eli Johan again, and it stays Hibs 0, Rangers 0.
Well, we spoke earlier, Hibs not putting enough pressure on Rangers in the back line. It's the first real bit of pressure. I think Chukwani started the game well, but he gets caught in the ball at the edge of the box. I think Kai Andrews does ever so well to work himself some space. Can shoot with the left foot, but picks out Eli Johan, comes into that trusted right foot and whips it. And you've got to say, it looks like a great save from Jack Butland to divert it out for a corner.
Which will be taken right in front of the section of Rangers supporters in the south stand off to our right. Jordan Obita over the corner. What can Hibs make of this? Obita left-footed, low ball, it's poor, and it's easily away by Souttar. Breaks back to Obita. Then Barlasser swings it in, and a diving header behind by Souttar concedes another corner for Hibernian.
I don't think Obita meant to play that 1-2 there. He hits the first man, it pings back to him, and he just sets it. Varlasar sees that space, whips a fantastic ball. And you got to say it's great defending again from John Souttar.
Rangers have everyone back to defend this corner. Obita will take again. Varlasar comes as a short option. Down on this near side. Chink of light from the sun between the two stands, shining on that corner flag as it's flipped in by Obita and beaten away by two fists of Jack Butland. So it comes out to Andrews on the far side, drop him last and out for a Rangers throw-in, level with their own 18-yard line. So Rangers survive a mini onslaught from Hibs. Two efforts from Johan, saved by Jack Butland. The second was spectacular. The first was comfortable, the second was perhaps not quite so. Denied the Hibs striker. Remember, Celtic against Falkirk kicking off at 3 o'clock, just over half an hour away. As Celtic look to try and bite into that 9-point advantage Hearts have over them. Rangers 7 adrift before kick-off. And Hibs have been the better side just these last few minutes. Rolled out to Megwa on this right flank. Plays it infield to Boyle, back out wide right it comes. Varlasar's first time ball in is sliced away by Fernandez, and that's going to be another Hibs corner on this near side. And they take advantage of their superiority just now.
Comes from Rangers just throwing a straight throw in down the line. It breaks to Hibs midfield. I think as Ballas switches it out to the right hand side. Definitely better from Hibs. The game's opened up the last 5 or so minutes. It's swung both ways, but that's 3 dangerous attacks for Hibs, and now the third corner in the last 5 minutes.
Another chance for Jordan Obita then. Again, right in front of the Rangers supporters. Obita looking for a teammate. It's a crowded 6-yard box. Another poor delivery, and it's away by Rangers. Chukwueze got it clear. Now breaks to Obita, swings it back in from this near side, and it's cleared once more by Rangers as Raskin tries to get Gassama away. And it breaks to Varlasar, who finds Megwa, goes all the way back to Salinger. It's a good little period for the home team, this. David Gray will be a bit happier than he has been of late, standing down, hands in his coat pockets down below. It's been a traumatic couple of weeks as Fernandez sees it behind for another Hibs corner.
Listen, there's nothing fancy from Hibs, just putting the ball in an area and making Rangers have to defend. We says at the top of the show, you can ask questions of him, and it comes from Eliuam, just being a willing runner. It's just shaped into a space. Fernandez jogging on it, doesn't see Eliuam coming on his blind side and forces him into a mistake. And again, Hibs have another corner. They're really building momentum at this moment in time.
Another chance for Obita then. 4 of these now in the last 5 minutes or so, beyond the half hour at 0-0. Another in-swinger to come from Obita. In it comes, Butland comes, punches with his right fist, breaks to Andrews. The edge of the box, forced wide a bit there, finds Iredale, back to Andrews, left angle of the box, takes a touch and swings the ball in, headed away by Fernandez. Hibs will come again though. Little switch out to Johan, right hand side of the box here. Looking for a bit of support. It's not coming in at the box yet. And Barlasser fired it out to him. It's a low ball back to the edge of the area, and then Newell and Andrews, a miscommunication, and Rangers are able to clear up towards Sharmiti, but it's won back by Iredale. He rolls it back to Salinger. Hibs on top.
Hibs on top. Rangers can't get a foothold of the ball. Again, they try and spring a counter-attack from that corner there, but Jack Iredale does ever so well, to get his body in front of Sharmiti. Possession of the ball back in Hibs' hands just now.
I think from a Hibs point of view, when they are putting deliveries in the box, you've got to try and keep it away from Fernandez. Obviously he's towering in there and he's really aggressive attacking the ball. You have to try and keep it away from him. But you must say, Hibs really squeezing the game well from their set pieces. Rangers are turning over the ball, looking up. There's just nothing to get them out. And that, yes, you bring everybody back to defend the set piece, but Hibs are in full control now.
Hibs without a win in their last 3, having lost their last 2. Cup exit at Dunfermline and last weekend's humbling in Falkirk. And this current run follows an unbeaten streak of 5 when they won 3 of them, including the Derby victory over Hearts here. We've got another one of those coming up at Tynecastle on Tuesday week. The Hearts players will be licking their lips at the prospect of dishing out some revenge. Hibs have the ball here. Salinger short to Hanley and out to Megwa on this near side. And back it goes to Hanley. Under pressure from Asgard. Deep inside his own half. He blasted off the Norwegian and out for a throw in on this near side. And it will be a Hibs throw, which Megwa will take. Listen to Sports Sound here at BBC Radio Scotland across the frequencies, on digital, online at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. A reminder that Celtic Falkirk is up and coming as well. 2 huge matches in the top 6. As Newell wins a header, looking for Boyle, facing his own goal. Suter hooks it back over his head up towards the halfway line. Breaks to Skov Olsen in the centre circle, and he's cynically chopped to the ground by Boyle, who'll be booked. Free kick Rangers. Well, a little bit needless from Martin Boyle. There was a crowded, congested midfield there. I'm not sure why he felt the need to bring Skov Olsen down the way he did. Anyway, he's paid the price with a yellow card. Free kick Rangers inside their own half, which Raskan's onto now, and out to Sterling on the far side. Under pressure from Johan, he turns it back to Suter. John Suter forward into the centre circle with the side foot to the right, out to this left-hand side. Fernandez forward to Gassama. Spun away from Bashiri and decided to try and win a free kick rather than play on. And now Kai Andrews away for Hibs. Fighting back well there, though, is Gassama, who retrieves the situation, having lost it in the first place. Raskan gets it from Asgard. Rangers piling forward, but Newell with a challenge, slide challenge, yellow card though. And the Hibs fans don't even think that's a foul, let alone a yellow. Matthew McDermott thinks otherwise. And Hibs have had 2 players booked in the space of about 30 seconds.
I thought it was a well-timed challenge from Joe Noodle. I'll be interested to see what Andy thinks of that. I thought he timed it really well.
Yeah, we've not got the benefit just now of a monitor. What I will say is, Joe Newell does make the challenge from behind. I agree, when you look at the direction that the ball takes, for up here it looks as if he makes contact. But Nico Raskin still feeling the after effects. But Joe Newell gets a booking so quickly after Martin O'Boyle picks up a yellow card as well. Martin Boyle, like you quite rightly said, Liam, Skov also had no out ball in front of him. He was getting crowded out by 3 midfielders. It was a really daft one to make from Martin Boyle.
Emmanuel Fernandez has been off, receiving a bit of treatment. He's just waiting to come back on now. Rangers, who've yet to register a shot on target in the match, a game they must win. 35 minutes into it. Hibs have had a couple, both from Johan, both saved. Free kick Rangers, Sterling into the Hibs box, headed away by Bashiri. Break Gassama's way, it has done. Gassama with the ball across, chance in the back post. Skov Olsen back in and cleared by Iredale, who'd actually timed right in front of his goalkeeper to take a touch and then clear. As Rangers pick up with Asgard, who rolls it into the centre circle for Fernandez. Then back into his own half for Asgard, steps away from Johan, plays it with the left foot to Suter. Side foot ball out to Dujon Sterling on the right, to the touchline for Skov Olsen. Infield for Chukwueze. Those new players for Rangers will still be finding their feet at the club. Thrust straight into this title battle, 3-way title battle. Who knows, perhaps Motherwell can muscle in the action as well. As Fernandez collects, rolls it back to Suter, fires it forward to Asgard. It's a touch away from Bashiri. Asgard at the edge of the box goes down. The referee waves him back to his feet. Rangers pick up with McHome on the left, tries to cross, blocked by Megwan, behind for the goal kick. The Rangers claim corner, they're not getting one. It stays Hibs nil, Rangers nil, and the longer this goes on, the bigger the frustration for both the Rangers players and the supporters.
Well, Liam, just to go back to that chance earlier, Gassama swings in a great ball for the left-hand side. And I'm watching Chermiti. As soon as the ball goes over Chermiti's head, he has to gamble inside the 6-yard box. Skov Olsen does ever so well to keep the attack alive, knocks it back into a really dangerous area. And it's not to say that Chermiti's going to get the end of it and score, but as a striker, you have to gamble that the ball's going to go into that area. But he's languishing outside the 6-yard box, and it ends up with Hibs easily clearing their box in what could have been a really difficult situation for them.
Still a young player, Chermiti, but you would think from a very young age, your first instinct, if you want to be a striker, is to be in there, no matter how young you are.
I think the word you use there, instinctively, you would expect that. And I think with that chance we've seen earlier on in the game where he does a step over, he goes by Grant Hanley, I think there should only be one thought in his mind, is how can I get a shot away? And he chooses to elect for a 5-yard pass inside the box when he should be testing the goalie from there. But what I would say in that last attack, you see that through ball again from Suter. Asgard's positioning is so key, whether he gets the ball or not, but it gives his wingers a...
Oh, it's a foul on Obita, left-hand side of the Rangers box by Sterling, and he is now shown a yellow card. And Hibs have a free kick in a fabulous position now.
Yeah, it's a nailed-on yellow card. It's a great switch of play from Hibs over on that left-hand side. Jordan Obita, just a lovely little nutmeg on Dujon Sterling. Dujon Sterling comes flying in to try and win the ball, mistimes it. As you said, really, really dangerous area for Hibs. You expect it'll be Ballister's right foot swinging it inside towards the goalkeeper and Jack Butland. You've got to say Hibs' delivery's not been great so far from the initial 4 corners they've got, but they've got another great opportunity here.
2 over it. It's pretty much at the left angle of the penalty area. Obita is there, and Barlasar, and there are plenty of options in the box, and once again Rangers have got everyone back to defend this. You would think it would favour the right footer. Barlasar perhaps will take, he does, and then the box comes off a Rangers head and behind for the corner. Could so easily have flashed into the net there. It stays Hibs 0, Rangers 0 on 39.
Yeah, it was a good ball in there from Barlasar, nice trajectory on it, pace, the right height for someone to go and attack, and Rangers, I think it's Raskin that gets the last touch on it and diverts it wide for a corner to Hibs. You expected, listen, Hibs do carry a threat from set pieces, they're not getting away from it, but for me the key is keeping it away from Fernandes.
Another Obita corner. Hibs 5th on this near side, the main stand side as they attack the goal to the right. Heading towards the final 5 minutes of the first half, and it comes. The header's won by Hanley, but it's a comfortable take for Butland on the left side of his goal. He was thinking about releasing a couple of players early there. Instead, he's just underarm bowled it short to Suter, who plays it to Raskan. Raskan then darts into the midfield and rolls it to Chikwani to his left. Out to Gassama, up against Megwa. Gassama looking to try and get beyond him. Megwa sticking with him. Gassama's made some advances here to level with the 18-yard line. Finds Chikwani and then back to Meghoma on this near side. And to Raskan just inside the Hibs half. Forward to Meghoma, who goes to the ground. Fouled by Barlasar. The Hibs fans not happy, but the Hibs midfielder didn't complain, so presumably it was a foul. Rangers play on quickly. It's back with Fernandes in the centre circle. To the left of it for Raskan. Clips the ball through, looking for Chermiti. It's a comfortable take though for Salinger. It's Hibs 0, Rangers 0. Rangers are a bit toothless in this game.
They are, and you know what, it's not the right ball, don't get me wrong, but at least it's a runner in behind. At this moment in time for Rangers, everything's in front of Hibs. It's come through to Boyle. It's gone through Fernandes. Boyle's in the box. Chance! Saved by Butland, who holds on at the second attempt. A glorious chance for Martin Boyle. He was berating himself down there. Butland holds on. Could be a huge moment in the match. 41 played. It stays 0-0. They don't get much better than that. They don't, and you know what? I've just talked about like Rangers lack of runners in behind. It's all that Hibs' attackers are doing, and this time they get it right. Manuel Fernandes makes a hash of what looked like a routine clearance. Martin Boyle gets on the end there, 1-on-1 with Jack Butland. It opens it up into that right foot. Jack Butland makes himself big and makes a stop, but by far the best chance of the game for Hibs. How often have we seen Martin Boyle dispatch from that kind of position and that situation?
So often you just think he's going to shape it in that far corner, and he has it right down the throat of Jack Butland. But it's a fantastic ball from Joe Newell. As much as Fernandes makes a hash of it, he fires it in, and Martin Boyle, always that willing runner, and you just think, shape it in the corner. And I think he's maybe get too much time to think about it. I think Martin Boyle's at his best when it's just touch, pick a corner and it's in the back of the net. But real positive signs from Hibs.
Absolutely, they played. This is night and day from what we saw from them at Falkirk last week. Newell out to the left-hand side. Abita's got time to take a touch, crosses in, and Johan heads wide. Oh, they're missing a whole heap of chances here. That's 3 for Johan, 2 saved earlier. He's flashed that header past the right-hand post just seconds after Martin Boyle spurned the one-on-one, and it stays Hibs 0, Rangers 0.
I can't believe Hibs aren't 1-0 up at this point in the chances in the last 2 minutes. What a ball that is in from Abita, and Eli Johan just has to get any sort of contact on it, nod it at the goal, and it's in the back of the net. and he somehow manages to hit off the side of his head and go by the post. But Hibs are really pressing here.
Well, Andy Halliday, if Rangers leave Easter Road with 3 points this afternoon, as they have to, they're going to be looking back at these moments and thinking, my goodness, what a victory it is. But right now, Hibs seemingly have the game to really cause Rangers problems.
They are, and if they're to leave with 3 points, they have to play a lot better than they've played, specifically in this last 15 minutes. It's been all Hibs, and I've got to say, I think Kai Andrews has made a really positive introduction to the game for Hibs. He picks up the ball in a lovely area, a little 1-2 with Martin Boyle, spreads it out to that left-hand side, and as Scotty says, it's a wonderful ball for Jordan Obita. Eli Yuan finds himself in between Fernandes and Magoma, doesn't get the sufficient contact on it to divert into the corner.
Header from Megwa keeps it in play wide on the right level with the edge of the centre circle, nods it back to Bashiri in his own half, and square to Hanley. Hibs should be at least one up here, and if they were to inflict defeat on Rangers, what a favour it would give their neighbours, as Johan, a little bit of tricks there, managed to get away from one, couldn't get away from Chikwani though, rolls it back the way, Skov Olsen into his own box for Butland. Rangers will be a bit rattled here.
They are, Liam. They're really struggling to get a foothold in this game. I think you see the best of Eli Yuan there. He does a lovely bit of skill to create the space himself. He just has to do a bounce pass, and he tries a double step over, then loses it. But Hibs have got all the momentum in this game. How they're not 1-0 up, as you said, Liam, was incredible. They had 2 chances, Martin Boyle and Eli Yuan. But David Gray will be delighted with how his team's approached this first half.
Could have seen their bid for a top 4 place hit the skids a little bit recently, Hibs. They are currently, as it stands, table sitting 7 points adrift of Motherwell. In that regard, just 3 clear of Falkirk, who kick off at Celtic Park in 15 minutes time. It's Rangers on the ball with Fernandes. Final minute of the first half, at least the opening 45, and there's going to be 4 added at the end of it. Suter finds Raskan, who finds Kisama, and back to Suter. Suter comes forward, it's slipped to Asgard, then back to Suter in the centre circle, and then he shifts it back to Fernandes, who's on the halfway line. It's it back from Suter. There's 4 minutes confirmed. We're into the first of them. No goals yet. Chikwani picks up on this near side and passes it straight out of the pitch. He was looking for Meghoma, it was the wrong side of the line. So throw in Hibernian. 0-0, first half stoppages.
I mean, Rangers have possession of the ball in Hibs' half for 90 seconds, and there is not one single runner forward for Rangers, so it just makes it so easy for Hibs to stay in their shape, shuffle and wait for Rangers to make the wrong option. And again, they do it, they turn over possession. I think Danny Rowe will be absolutely furious at half time with this Rangers side.
Here goes Boyle again, clipped through by Newell. Fernandes is covering and gets there, turns and clears up to the halfway line. Sharmiti's header goes straight to Newell. There's an offside flag against the Rangers number 9, who's barely been in the game. Free kick Hibs. Berlasser fires it out to the left hand side. What a great ball it was for Obita. Level with the Rangers penalty spot. Rolls it back to Iredale, left foot cross, first time comes in. Boyle wins a header, nods it back to the penalty spot. Up into the air from Raskan. More height than distance. It's still in the area and near or around it as Andrews plays it out to this right hand side to Megwa via Berlasser. In comes the cross and headed away by Fernandes. Newell for Hibs, back to Hanley. And then across to Bashiri on this near side. First time ball low forward to Berlasser, who finds Megwa, lovely ball over the top of Meghoma. And then Andrews, lovely turn, pirouette, Johan, fresh air. And that's cleared by Sterling. Rangers living a charmed life right now. A poor touch by Eli Johan. And again, one of these players who perhaps when he's got time to think, he ends up getting himself caught up in knots as he was there. Rangers come away in the counter, Asgard to Raskan. Raskan looks up, gets the ball in towards Sharmiti, looks to head it back to the 18-yard line, can only find Obita, who clears. We played 2 of the 4 minutes of stoppages.
Kai Andrews again, he makes a brilliant run in behind. You know, everyone was expecting him just to flash it across with his right foot, but he chops it back onto his left. Lovely little set to Eli Yuan from roughly about 14-15 yards out. Just doesn't quite get the finish right, but Rangers need half time.
Fernandes on the ball here, centre circle. And then with the right foot. Dreadful ball by Fernandes, gives it straight to Obita. Danny Reuell's got a lot to think about here. They cannot be dropping 2 points, let alone 3 this afternoon. Hearts with that advantage at the top, currently sitting at 7 points. Berlasser with a big ping ball forward is headed away by Sterling. Scott Olsen loses out to the impressive Kai Andrews, who came on for Miguel Chaiwa earlier on in the first half. Finds Johan, back to Andrews over on that left hand side. The ball down the line for Obita. Passes it back to Andrews. Hibs nil, Rangers nil. Final minute of the first half now. It's Bashiri midway inside the Rangers half. Rolls it out to Megwa on the right, gets the cross ball in, headed away by Fernandes. And Chermiti gets onto it deep inside his own half, but he's lost it in double quick time, and it's Andrews at the right side edge of the box. Finds Boyle at the right angle, turns 180 degrees, now he's level with the 6-yard line, wins the corner right at the end of the first half. Hibs are going to get the final opportunity of the first half, and in truth, they've had all the opportunities in the first half.
Yeah, they've been fantastic. Listen, they've been a constant threat. But the amount of second balls they've won off a Rangers clearance, or even a Hibs winning the first header, or them winning the second header. Rangers wide players, when they are asked to defend, they're just not defending with any aggression, and Hibs are managing to pick up all these second balls. As Abita again goes for another corner just before the half-time whistle.
Yeah, the whistle will be going, I would imagine, after this attack is finished. Will it finish in the net though? Obita's corner, in it comes. Butland thought about it, changed his mind, comes off Bashiri, skips off his head and behind for the goal kick. And that, I would imagine, Andy Halliday, will be about that for the first half. 0-0.
Yeah, that's that.
In fact, do you know what? Keep your powder dry, because there's going to be plenty of time now to discuss what you've just watched. 49 minutes in the end, no goals for Coventry. Martin Boyle then found himself in behind after Fernandes botched an attempted clearance. Boyle got in, but he could only shoot straight at Butland, and then Johan with a header in the final couple of minutes of the first half put it well wide, when he really should have at the very least been getting it on target. Well, the only positive for Rangers right now is that it is goalless, but that's a problem for the title challengers, because goalless would mean the spilling of 2 points if this is how it's going to end come the close of business today. The trouble for them is they might not even get a point out of it if the second half is anything like the first. Here in the Port of Leith, where at half-time it is Hibernian 0, Rangers 0.
On your radio,
online at BBC Sports Scotland,
your smart speaker,
and BBC Sounds.
This is Sports Sound
from BBC Radio Scotland.
7th of February.
6 nations.
5 fierce rivals.
4 points for a win.
3 away fixtures.
2 at home.
and 1 lone piper atop the stands at Murrayfield. Italy versus Scotland in our opening match at the Six Nations Championship. Listen on Saturday from 2 p.m. on BBC Radio Scotland Extra and Sounds. We're ready to go.
0-0 at half-time in Easter Road. You have to say Hibernian will be devastated. They have not been able to break the deadlock in the opening 45 minutes. If you missed the news during the commentary, David Martindale has left his role as Livingston manager. He's moved upstairs to become director, sporting director at Almond Vale. Marvin Bartley, his assistant, takes over as team manager. Let's go quickly to Celtic Park. Live commentary from there coming in about 8 or 9 minutes' time. Our commentator with the team news is Thomas Duncan.
Yeah, thanks, Richard. Massive game for Celtic as they look to shut the gap on Hearts back down to 6 points. 3 changes made by Martin O'Neill. Austin Trusty suspended, he drops out along with Donovan and Tunekti. In come Araujo and Chavanchera, who are available again after not being able to play in Europe, and Dane Murray in defence. So it's Schmeichel in goal, Araujo, Murray, Scales and Tierney, McGregor and Engels, with Nygren in front, Yang and Maeda on the flanks, and Chavanchera up front. As for Falkirk, just the one change from their thumping 4-1 victory over Hibernian last time. Finn Yates drops to the bench. In comes Louis Marsh, the loanee from Sheffield United. So it's Bain in goal, Adams, Allen, Henderson and McCann the back four, Spencer and Tate sitting with Marsh in front, Wilson and Miller out wide, and Barney Stewart up front after his hat-trick last week.
Live commentary with Thomas, with Pat Bonner and with Ian McCall. Let's hear quickly from the managers. First, Martin O'Neill has been chatting to Thomas.
Martin, a positive night here on Thursday. How important is it to build on that result?
Yeah, we've got to keep going, really. Got to show a lot of energy tonight as well too. It was a great effort on Thursday evening. Gets us into the knockout stages of the competition, which would have been a long way away after 3 or 4 matches of the group games. So from that viewpoint, there's plenty of confidence about the side, but it's energy as much as anything else. Made a couple of changes today, 2 lads coming in back again into the side, and so we'll work around that.
You mentioned Dane Murray, obviously a big afternoon for him, and Thomas Chavanchara as well, leading the line back in league action. What are you expecting from these guys?
Well, I expect them to play as strongly as possible for Celtic. It's really as simple as that. I thought that Thomas did really well. Came into a game, made the goal for us at Hearts, the second goal. Not many could have done that. So he'll be nervous. His home match expectation is high on him. Try and lessen that as much as possible. And Big Dane, I think he can cope with it. It's not a problem. He's a big lad now. He's improving. He's got a bit about him, and I hope things go well for him.
Obviously, Hearts winning last night puts them 9 points in front. It feels kind of like a must-win this afternoon.
I think every game for us now, as I said, the situation that we find ourselves in here for one reason or another is that we have no room for error. I know I keep saying this year's like a foghorn talking, but that's the case. We don't have any, and it's been the same here since I've come back in again. It's difficult for us. We're keeping going. We're trying to go on 3 fronts now at this moment, and it is hard. But hopefully we get a couple of players coming in and help the squad a bit.
Thanks, Martin. Good luck.
Pleasure.
Martin O'Neill still hoping for some new faces. The team on a fine run since he returned for a second spell this season. John McGlynn's Falkirk also on a very fine run, having gained promotion to the top flight. He too had a chat with Thomas.
John, Celtic Park's always a really tough place to come, but I guess you couldn't really arrive here in any better form or spirits.
No, you're right. It is a difficult place to come, no doubt about it. Come here many times over the years, and it's it's exactly that. Very hard. It's our hardest on paper, our hardest game of the season. So yeah, but you're right. We'll come here in good spirits. We had a great win last week. We gave Celtic a difficult game at home not so long ago. So yeah, we'll need to be at our best today to get anything. But that's the plan. We're hoping to be at our best. We know Celtic are a different animal here at Celtic Park. They got a great win the other night there, which will boost their confidence coming into the game today and the fans. So we obviously want to try and quiet that down. We need a good start in the game is always important, but so important today.
You just made the one change, which I guess says it all about the performance last week against Hibs.
Yeah, exactly that. We're happy the way things have been going. We've put Louis in. He's got a little bit more attacking threat for us. We're hoping he can open doors for us. He's shown really well up in training. He came on against Hibs. He's got an assist and, a goal, an on goal. In my eyes, it looked like a goal for Louis. So, he's got a lot of talent. I think he can cause, Celtic problems. And we just went a slightly different way.
Thank you, John. Good luck.
Okay.
John McGlynn, it's been a tough old run. That narrow defeat by Celtic that John mentioned, followed by the penalty shootout Scottish Cup win against Hearts, and then that humbling of Hibernian last weekend. Live commentary to come from Celtic Park, Celtic against Falkirk. If you want to listen into that one, you're going to have to be tuned in to BBC Radio Scotland 810 medium wave. You get it on digital, of course. If you're BBC Sounds, it'll be BBC Radio Scotland Extra, and you'll get it online as well. So full live commentary coming up from Celtic Park with Ian McCall, Pat Bonner and Thomas Duncan.
Football from Sports Sound
on BBC Radio Scotland.
Good afternoon from Celtic Park, where the defending champions are looking to close the gap back to 6 points on Hearts, who thumped Dundee United at Tannadice last night. But they are up against a side in Falkirk who have shown everyone they belong in the Premiership after coming up from the second tier. More than belong, as they look to strengthen their place in the top 6. They have a 5-point cushion over Aberdeen at the moment, and they were very unlucky to lose to Celtic on their own patch just a couple of weeks ago. Players are out, and we will be getting underway shortly live on Sports Sounds, and alongside me is Ian McCall and Pat Bonner. And Pat, if I come to you first of all, put it to Martin O'Neill before the game, it's a must-win game. It is, isn't it, really?
Yeah, no room for errors, as he rightly says. Every point, every game now, you have to win. You've got to get performances in to keep the momentum going. Now he's done that since he's come back in, which is incredible actually from where they were. So they're in a decent enough place. The other night it wasn't a top performance for them, but they got a job done, and that will give them confidence. I'm looking forward to this game because, of course, Ian's been looking at Falkirk for I think most weeks. I tend to think that he's there and he raves about them, so I'm looking forward to see two good teams up against each other today.
Yeah, Ian, a magnificent season from Falkirk and playing some really mouth-watering football, especially last week against Hibernian.
Yeah, they are, and John McGlynn's not obsessed with attempting to play total football. He goes back to front as well, but in the last game I saw Falkirk, I mean, I've covered them a few times, not quite as many as Packy times, but I've covered them a few times. But I've seen them in League One, I saw them in the Championship, I've seen them in the Premier League, and last week against Hibs? I think it was last week when they won 4-1. That is the best I have seen Falkirk play. They could have won 6, or they could have scored 6 or 7 goals, and I tell you, this is not a gimme for Celtic. Falkirk come here in magnificent form.
No, and Celtic will very much know that. Teams lined up, and kick-off by Calvin Miller, the former Celtic academy player, is having a fine season for Falkirk, and it's headed by Kieran Tierney, Celtic left back, and out for a throw-in to Falkirk over on the far side. Celtic Park pretty full, although still a ban in place for the Green Brigade over on the far corner, which John McGlynn, the Falkirk manager, actually mentioned in his pre-match media during the week about how that might be able to help.
Had opportunities early on when Rangers did have most of the pressure to take his man on, and he just opted to turn out and roll it back to his full-back. So I think for me he's been disappointing, especially in a game with this magnitude for Rangers. But Hibs, listen, I think the midfield, Joe Newell coming in, making his first start in over a year. I think Kai Andrews, who's been fantastic since he came on, obviously making his debut. So Hibs it's not just an over-physical midfield, but they're picking up second balls, they're shuffling because the distances are good. And when they've landed on the ball, they're now getting full control, and Rangers aren't getting enough pressure on it. When the balls are there to be won between a Rangers player and a Hibs player, a Hibs player seems to be getting first contact. So they're all basic fundamentals of football that from a Rangers point of view can get better in the second half. From a Hibs point of view, they just need to keep up that aggression, and when they do, they get the chance to falter them. Can they take it this time? Because I don't think you're going to get as good a chance as you will with that Martin Boyle one. Fantastic ball from Joe Newell. As Andy says, I've seen Martin Boyle just slide that in the corner time and time again. And then the delivery from Avita for Eli Yuan, that's the difference when you have a winger playing as a striker today. A striker just goes and attacks that and puts it in the back of the net. So as much as they'll be frustrated not being in the lead, they'll know that there's opportunities there to make Rangers defend, and there'll be chances to present themselves if Rangers don't obviously get their act together in this second half.
In the Women's Scottish Cup semi-final, 62 minutes played. It's Rangers 2, Celtic 3. McEnany, Lawton and Pritchard for Celtic. Wilkinson and Berry for Rangers, who have come back from 3-1 down. Glasgow City, of course, waiting in the final for whoever emerges from that one. The news we brought you during the commentary was the departure, certainly in terms of departing the dugout, David Martindale moving upstairs as sporting director at Livingston. His assistant Marvin Bartley taking over as manager. Andy, had it just reached a stage where, despite Davies' long tenure, something had to give?
Yeah, he's obviously been at the football club for a long period of time. He's had numerous roles within that. He's obviously been assistant manager. He's been in the background before. He's been the manager for such a long stint for Livingston. But obviously, the table isn't pretty for Livingston at this moment in time. Only one league win this season. You need to go all the way back to August to see when it was. It was at home to Falkirk. And I just think there's been growing frustration from the Livingston fans. And I just think that need of freshness within the football club. It seems as if it was needed. It's not all that fresh. Obviously, Marvin Bartley being assistant manager, stepping up. But, you know, Marv's somebody that's got a great rapport with the current group of players. So I think now, as a club, Livingston will just be looking for that initial reaction and try and get wins to bounce back up that table.
I think that quote you made, Andy, of how David Martin had that's up there for me. It was a great quote. Had a word myself, moved myself upstairs.
Sat talking to himself in the mirror this morning, told him where his new position was.
Well, I think what you got to give credit to is the job he has done consistently over the years. It deserves enormous credit, single-handedly at times. Shown a real belief, professionalism within the club. I know they train really hard. Obviously dropping down to the Championship and coming back up. First time of asking in the playoffs. So you got to give him huge credit for the job he has done over the years.
He was appointed permanently way back in December 2020. Only two managers, Stuart Petrie at Montrose and Dougie Samuel at the Spartans, have been in charge longer. And you kind of feel, Scott, that he'll still continue to have an influence at the club.
Yeah, he will do, because it means so much to him. I think you've seen that in his interview yesterday, how much the club means to him. Marvin, they've got a really close relationship. But what Marvin brings is a youthfulness and a real rapport. He's a very likeable guy, and tactically you would think Marv would maybe want to implement something different. As much as you're on a coaching staff, you sometimes see the game a wee bit differently. So can Marv get a reaction from this group of players? Because if you're looking at two clubs who came up last year, Falkirk have, for me, the lowest budget in the league. There's no getting away from that. 10 Scottish players in the starting line-up last week against Hibernian, and have been so consistent. So there's a real difference in recruitment from both clubs who came up at the same time. So Marvin Bartley will be hoping to get a real response from that Livingston group.
They're 6 points adrift at the bottom of the table. We'll chat more a little bit later. Remember, Celtic against Falkirk, the first half of that live on medium wave digital, BBC Radio Scotland Extra and online right now. Let's settle back and enjoy what could be an intriguing second 45 minutes at Easter Road, live from the capital. It is Hibernian 0, Rangers 0, as we rejoin Andy Halliday, Scott Allen and Liam McLeod.
Well, we saw Mikey Moore going through his paces during the half-time interval, but it looks as though it's same as for Rangers for the start of the second half. Hibs were forced into that change with Andrews coming on for Chaiwa. So Matthew McDermott ready to get the second half underway. No goals yet. We'll keep you up to date with goings on at Celtic Park as we go along. But Rangers will kick off left to right in the orange and white. Rascan rolls it all the way back to Butland. Hibs in the green and white will go right to left as we watch from high up at the back of the main stand, shooting towards the famous 5 end, as they tend to do in the second half of games here, as that's headed out for a Rangers throw-in on this near side. I don't think Rangers could be too much worse in this second half than they were in the first. They have to be a whole lot better if they're going to get away from here with 3 points. There's Rascan looking for Chikwane, plays it looking for Chermiti, but it goes behind for the goal kick. Salinger in goal for Hibs, Bashiri, Hanley, Iredale, Megwa, Andrews, Barlasa, Rabita, Newell, Boyle, Johan. Rangers with Butland in goal, Sterling, Suter, Fernandez, Mekoma, Chikwane, Asgar, Rascan, Scov, Olsen, Kasama, Chermiti. It is Barlasa on the ball, left of the centre circle, pings it out to that right side for Megwa. Got an option in Boyle ahead of him. That's where the pass goes. The Hibs number 10 on it now. Is it nicked off by Fernandez? Boyle trying to win it back. Fernandez holding him off for now, but Boyle fouls him. That's a free kick to Rangers, and Martin Boyle was booked in the first half. He's going to have to be careful. He doesn't want to get embroiled in too many of those in this second half.
It's good defending by Emmanuel Fernandez. We know Martin Boyle's got pace, tries to take him on the outside, uses his body well. Well, we mentioned at half-time that Rangers need to have more pressure on Barlasa, not allowing that switch of play. He's got a lovely range of passing already. Within 2 minutes he's picked up a second ball, and it was him that had that switch of play to the right hand side for Hibs to try and get that opportunity down the right hand side.
Hibernian's last 5 wins over Rangers have all come in Glasgow. 3 times at Ibrox, twice at Hampden, including the 2016 Scottish Cup final, as Skov Olsen picks up and turns it back to Sterling, and then play it short to Raskan, and then back to Sterling. In the Hibs half here, forward to Skov Olsen, and back into his own half for Suter. He shifts it to the left of the centre circle for Fernandez. It's generally a fixture Rangers score in. It's not often they don't score at least once. In fact, last season's 2-0 Hibs win at Ibrox, the first clean sheet they've managed against Rangers in 24 attempts. It remains their only one in the last 28. So Rangers generally find a way to goal in this fixture. 0-0 at the moment. It's back to Salinger, who plays it out from the back to Barlaser, then to Hanley, and back to Salinger. What David Gray will have wanted Scott Allen is for his team to continue with the left off, but here come Rangers. It's Sharmiti, almost got into the path of Skov Olsen after Hibs gave it away, picked up by Obita. Just as I was saying, David Gray wants his team to continue with the left off. As they come forward here, it's a long ball to Johan at the edge of the box. His play rages from one end to the other, and expertly defended by Fernandez, who turns away from Johan and finds Raskan, who slips it through to Sharmiti. Can't get Scott involved here because there's so much going on. Hopefully the second half's better as a spectacle than the first was, even though Hibs feel they should be in front by this point. So Rangers free kick on this near side.
Is that Sharmiti down now, injured? Listen, Grant Hanley just gets across, does it, and has to make contact with him. I think he catches him in the back of the Achilles. Jack Iredale done so well there, didn't it? It was the first time Raskin picked up the second ball, heads it forward, and it just lands at Sharmiti, and he just tries to help it on. I think it's to Skov Olsen. Jack Iredale does brilliant just to get himself in the way of the pass and head it clear, and then it goes from one side to the other. Eli Yuan looking to get in behind. Manny Fernandez defends really well, 1v1 against Eli Yuan. So I think at some point Rangers are going to have to go for it. They know that they have to win today. So we spoke about it, but Hearts winning last night. Hibs just have to stay in the game, keep making it difficult for Rangers.
Yeah, Rangers are home to Kilmarnock on Wednesday, then it's the cup tie against Queen's Park, but then they go to Motherwell and host Hearts. We're going to know a whole lot more about where the title's going by the middle to late point of this month. That game at Ibrox between Rangers and Hearts looks massive right now. The Rangers cannot afford to slip up before then, and right now it's 2 points dropped, still plenty time for them. Asgard flights the free kick in from wide on the right into the box. Suter wins the header, and then a couple of Rangers players went for it, including Sharmiti. Looks like he's okay. Hibs clear though. Chukwuani's under pressure, manages to head it forward, but it's met by Bashiri, heads it into the Rangers half, and then it bounces off the knee of Chukwuani, and now on the right it's with Andrews. Chukwuani gets back and wins it for Rangers over on the far side. He's facing his own corner flag down there, under pressure, passes it back to Meghoma, who clears. Barlaser's onto it, flashes it forward towards the edge of the box for Neil, but it's cleared by Rangers from the edge of their own box. Sharmiti goes down, no foul. Iredale's onto it, Asgard gets between he and the ball, holds him off, and Rangers have it back on the near side. Hibs fans want a free kick for Jack Iredale. There's nothing coming for them. It's a long ball. Skov Olsen has it wide on the right, taking on Obita, right hand side of the box, gets to the byline, fires it across and headed behind for the corner by Hanley. Raskan went down off the ball and is pushing Iredale, who throws himself to the ground after the shove from the Belgian, and the referee's going to have to sort this one out. Rangers have a corner when all is said and done, but there is a melee at the edge of the penalty area. See lots of this just now across many games. Saw it last night at Tannadice, and Matthew McDermott's going to have to sort this out a bit. There are a few players out there on yellow cards. Newland, Boyle for Hibs, Sterling for Rangers. And Raskan was irate there. His team's won a corner. He obviously felt he should have had a free kick. With the challenging with Iredale, who's booked. Raskan's booked as well. And I think that's how Matthew McDermott's going to deal with it. Rangers corner. Andy Halliday.
Well, as the ball comes down to the right hand side for Skov Olsen, he gets Jordan Obita in a 1v1 situation, but me and Scotty are just looking in the Rangers box, and there's only Sharmiti in there against Hibs' back three, so it makes it very difficult for Rangers to then create a chance. And then obviously was that just a wee bit after there. Jack Iredale was pulling at Raskin's jersey, and Raskin reacts by pushing him over at the floor, so Matthew McDermott reaches his pocket again, and yellow card for each.
Hibs nil, Rangers corner. Skov Olsen's over it. Asgard is there as the short option if he wants him. In front of the visiting support, who occupy that section off to the right of the south stand. can they come up with here?
This is the one lifeline that Rangers always have, isn't it? It's the threat they have from set pieces now with that height in there, even when they're not playing well, and Hibs have to be super focused here.
The referee's just keeping an eye on things in the box, and it will be Scott Olsen to take, left-footed corner, and it comes, easily headed away by Iredale. And there was a bit of pushing or shoving or something in the box, and the referees actually ended up giving Hibs a free kick inside the area. No surprise there, given he wasn't happy with a couple of the head-to-heads going on inside the Hibs box. And it's now back with Salinger. Remains 0-0 here, as it does in the relatively early stages at Celtic Park, where the champions are hosting Falkirk. And Bairns felt aggrieved to have not taken something from the head-to-head between those two a couple of weeks ago at the Falkirk Stadium. We'll keep you up to date with that one. Salinger launches it forward, the header back into the Hibs half towards Sharmiti. It's going to break to Bushiri, and he nods it back to his goalkeeper. There's no underestimating, Andy, the importance of this second half of football here.
Yeah, huge. When you're the chasing pack and you're 7 points behind the league leaders, you can't afford many slip-ups from now to the end of the season. As I said, Rangers have got a tough run of fixtures coming up. They're coming up against a Hibs side that at this moment in time aren't in great form. Obviously no Bowie, no Mulligan, no McGrath. I think all eyes were on Rangers to come here and get the 3 points, but at this moment in time, there only looks like one winner, and that's Hibs.
Free kick Hibs over on the far side, to be taken by Hanley. Launches it forward with the right foot down the right-hand side. Fernandez's favourite. Boyle's challenging him though. It's with Fernandez. He's able to clear with the right foot, but it's out for a Hibs throw-in on the far side, level with the Rangers' 18-yard line.
It's brilliant from Martin Boyle. Listen, you look at the physical difference between Martin Boyle and Fernandez, but what he does give you is appetite to chase things, lost causes, and just by putting pressure on their Hibs now have a throw-in deep in Rangers half. You can't buy that, and that's the one thing he shows time and time again. Martin Boyle, still why he's such an important player in this Hibs squad.
Long throw-in coming up here for Hibs. Joe Newell's over it, over on the far side. They'll launch it into the Rangers box to the right angle of the 6-yard area. Fernandez heads it away. Iredale finds Andrews. Back to Iredale. Thought about the shot. Uses it as the decoy and finds Abita. Left angle of the area. Back to Iredale. Widen the left. Gets the cross in. Away by Chukwane. And out for a Hibs throw-in on this near side.
Mikey Moore getting ready for Rangers, Liam.
Yeah, and Andy did point out to me at the break that he was out doing that kind of extensive warm-up during the half-time interval. No surprise to see him coming on early, because things have not changed for the better for Rangers, and he's going to replace the ineffective J.D. Gusama. Throw in Hibs again, this time on this left side. This time it's Iredale. It's the same result, into the Rangers box. Diving headed away by Suter. Megho tries to force it forward, and it's blocked by Meghoma, who clears. Up into the air in the midfield. Asgard heads it down. Let's get back onto it. Does so. Flicks it back to Meghoma. Digs out the ball forward to Sharmiti. Poor touch away by Hanley. And eventually breaks to Skov Olsen right of the centre circle. Threads it through towards Raskan, but bounces off his heel there. And back into Hibs possession, where it's cleared by Iredale down this near side. It bounces off Sterling, and out for a Hibs throw-in on this near side. Hibs 0, Rangers 0. First change of the match for the visitors, and Mikey Moore is going to replace Gusama. Andy.
Another great opportunity for Rangers and to create a chance. Balliser, who's been really good for Hibs today for me. Poor pass, poor square pass in the middle of midfield. Skov Olsen tries to release Raskin into the box on that right hand side, hits Raskin's heel, attack over, and that is why Danny Rowe has went to his bench so early in the second half, because he needs a spark from somewhere.
Were you surprised Moore didn't start the game?
I was, purely because I was surprised that he wasn't in the starting 11 on Thursday against Porto, but for me it then led to, I thought it was one eye in this game today against Hibs, so fully expected to see him in the starting 11, but he's on now to try and make a difference for Rangers.
Till Asgard took the ball out to the left, there wasn't any option in Rangers colours. He's forced back into his own half, and he's lost it to Johan, and the referee's whistle bails out Telo Asgard. Johan was running through on goal there otherwise. Free kick goes Rangers' way, just to the left of the centre circle.
But Asgard's driving at the Hibs defence and has to head it all the way back in his own half. Rangers need runners. They have to. Listen, as Andy says, you're now chasing Hearts. Hearts have put you under pressure. There you go. They've one ball because one runner, and they're in behind.
Down the right, Sterling forced back, facing his own goal by Obita, right hand side of the Hibs box. Back to Scott Olsen to Raskan, and now it's Chikwani looking for Raskan, and it's an important challenge by Hanley, and he's earned his team a goal kick as well. It's come off Raskan last, says the referee, and it will be a goal kick to Hibs. Perhaps earned his luck there, Grant Hanley.
Well, it's the first time Rangers have got into Hibs' box for a long period of time. As Scotty says, it just comes from a running behind Scott Olsen and Dujon Sterling making the run. It works back out. It's a lovely little 1-2 from Raskin and Chikwani. I must say, if the man go up here, it did look like a corner, but certainly more promising. All it comes from is just enthusiasm to run off the ball to make a difference.
I think with Mikey Moore coming on, and I've watched him this season many a times, I think he's far more effective than when he plays inside the pitch. I think he picks up really good pockets, and he's really good under pressure. He's got great feet, and he can see a pass. I think as much as we talk about the tweaks that Danny Rose make, you'd expect him to just drift into the pockets and give the Hibs defence something to worry about.
Here goes Moore. He runs into Hanley, breaks back to the edge of the box here for Fernandes. He's right up the pitch. As I go at goal, takes a deflection, and Rangers have a corner. The big centre back, not sure how he found himself in that position, but he's won his team a corner. Not sure how threatening his shot was going to be, perhaps not at all, but it's got Rangers up the park here again.
It was certainly a centre-half's finish, that's for sure, but no, it gets deflected over the bar. You quite rightly say that he shouldn't be effective in the areas, but the area he's in now is certainly where he can be effective for another corner.
Which will be taken by Taylor Asgard over on the Rangers' left as they attack the southern end off to our right. In-swinger from Asgard on top of the goal, and it clips the roof of the net, and it's poor. It's a goal kick to Hibs. It's goalless in Edinburgh.
That right there sums up Rangers' afternoon so far. I mean, just another poor delivery from Asgard. You know, we've talked about Rangers' threat from set pieces. A big reason for that is through their delivery, whether it be with James Tavernier or Conor Barn or Magoma throughout the season, but that's the last two deliveries from Scott Olsen and Asgard been really poor.
Crowd of just over 18,200 inside Easter Road for this one. Rangers pick up on the left. Chance to drive forward with Chikwani. He's got Sharmiti and Scott Olsen in the middle. In comes the cross. It's beaten everyone. Comes all the way through to the other side of the area, and Obita sees it behind for the goal kick. It's been a game that for large spells has lacked real quality, but in the 60th minute of it, Hibs 0, Rangers 0.
It really has, Leo, and most of the time it's in the final third. The hardest part of the game for a lot of players is picking the right option, and both sides, when they have get in there, just haven't quite had that finishing touch. There's Martin Boyle again running in behind.
Fernandes the covering player. Boyle left hand side of the box. Fernandes goes to ground and gets his team the free kick.
I'd love to see
his own half.
I would love to see the distance and high intensity speed between Sharmiti and Martin Boyle. For one who's probably 10, 11 years older than the other, Martin Boyle has been non-stop this afternoon. Yes, he didn't take his chance, but what he constantly does is ask questions, but just run the channels. Sharmiti has to do more of that for me. As much as he isn't in the box sometimes, but he has to try and stretch that Hibs defence.
He's back to being Hibs top scorer with 8 goals after the departure of Bowie, who won more than him. Bowie off to Verona. The latest Scot to move to Serie A. Rangers have it with Suter. Plays it short into midfield for Chikwani, who drives forward, slips it towards Scott Olsen. It's the wrong side of him though, and Hibs able to clear. It's up towards Johan. It's a poor delivery from him, and then Megwa loses out to Mike Homan. It's picked up by Moore over on that left hand side, midway inside Hibs territory. Plays it infield to Sharmiti, to his right for Asgard, to his right for Sterling. Level with the Hibs 18-yard line. Sterling now level with the penalty spot, bends the cross ball in, flicked away by Megwa, and out for a Rangers throw-in on the far side. They've still not really tested Raphael Salinger, but they seem to be seeing more of the ball in the attacking third to the visitors.
And Mikey Moore's played a part in that. Again, it's positive play from him. No, there's not much penetration there, but at least he's driving it at Hibs' defenders, trying to make them defend, and then work it to the right hand side from Dujon Sterling, as well defend it at back post for Hibs. Rangers back on the attack.
What they are doing is they're getting more bodies in the box when it does go wide. I think that was a key takeaway from...
Yeah, but look at this for Hibs. 3v2, Hibs. Boyle, he slips it to his left. Ellie Johan's in. Left hand side of the box. Suter trying to get back. Johan on the right foot shoots, and it's blocked by Suter. An important block it was. Not for the first time. Hibs getting in behind that Rangers rear guard. Johan has it level with the penalty spot, rolls it back to Barlasser, who plays it low out to Abita on this near side. It's now with Johan again, to Barlasser, forward it comes to Iredale. Was he on or offside there? Iredale, the pass blocked by Asgard, who clears. Up towards Sharmiti, he's managed to hold off Hanley. Raskan drives forward. It's a really poor touch though, and Bushiri's able to come in and knock it back to his keeper. It's Hibernian 0, Rangers 0, almost on 62.
Great play from Martin Boyle again, takes out this guy, puts a lovely reverse pass to Eli Johan. He's in again, Ovita.
Yeah, he's gone the other way. It's Newell looking for Boyle. Can he keep it in play? Yes, he can. With the back heel, he's done brilliantly. Up against Mekoma, rolls it back to Megwa. 3 in green and white in the middle, and it comes headed over by Johan. Hibs springing to life again the last couple of minutes. They threatened once more. This time Johan heads over on 62 minutes. It remains goalless.
Martin Boyle's again done that. We've spoken about time and time again. Made that run from in to out. Managed to back heel it in the line and still have time to lift his head and pick a pass with no Rangers player in sight.
Yeah, just seem to have that little bit more urgency, Hibs. And you can understand that given their last 2 results. But from a Rangers point of view, they do not look like a team that desperately needs 3 points today in a title challenge. Right now, the Hearts supporters will be, well, this will be piquing their interest, because their great rivals and neighbours are doing them a favour here, and it could be an even bigger favour if Hibs can find the route to goal. Rangers do not look like scoring, that is a fact. Something's going to have to change for them, as Bushiri's adjudged a foul Moore just outside the centre circle. They don't look like scoring, Andy, do they?
No, well, we said at half time we didn't think Rangers could be worse in the second half. I think they have been. I'm just looking at Salinger in goals. He's not even got a flicker of mud on his jersey or his shorts. Rangers have, 25 remaining to try and change that, but you just can't see where it's coming from at this moment in time.
Moore wide on the left of the Hibs box, level with 18-yard line. His cross is poor, it's easily cut out, but it's won back by Fernandez, and it's a chance at the edge of the box. Their shot's deflected. This time Salinger does dive down and get mud in his jersey as he keeps out the effort from distance. Chikwani was there, and Salinger down low to his right puts it behind for the Rangers corner.
One thing's for sure, Asgard's got to produce a better delivery than they did a couple of minutes ago.
Well, let's have a look. It will be Asgard to take in swinger with the right foot, and it comes. The header down by Fernandez is blocked, and it's going to go behind for a goal kick in the end. And another set play. And Rangers have been good from set plays this season, as we know, but nothing doing for them there. As Rangers took that corner, that being their 4th of the match, as Hibs look to make a double change down below us, and Rudy Malotnikov is coming on. They're also going to bring on Owen Elding, the new striker, who's come in from Sligo Rovers. Scott Allen.
Standing ovation from the Hibs fans from Martin Boyle. He's putting a power of work today. Only thing missing, the goal has been outstanding. Really led the line well for Hibs, constant run up, and now it's time to see what Owen Eldon will bring to this Hibs side. As we spoke about top of the show, someone who's been spoke very highly of. Joe Neal as well, by the way, for his first game back in. I thought he's been excellent in there, and young Rudy Malotnikov coming in. Spent a lot of time off the park this year with injury, but he's got some real quality, an academy graduate of Hibs. So you're seeing that the two teams, who wants to go and win it. Hibs are making changes, really positive changes here to go and win this game.
Yeah, no, Elding coming on, grew up in County Sligo. He's born in England, bounced between Sligo Rovers and Longford Town. 16 goals and 67 appearances for Sligo all told, including 12 in the last Irish League season. Scored in his last couple of matches for them as well. As he comes on for his debut, as that ball's played back the way to Fernandez and then back to Butland. 0-0 then, and we are pretty close to the final quarter of the match. Remains goalless at Celtic Park as well, so far so good if you're a Hearts supporter. Long ball Fernandez, headed away by Iredale, helped on its way by Malotnikov, and then Raskan goes back to John Souttar. The Rangers just one away league defeat since Boxing Day 2024. Generally pretty good on the road. That's slipped in field to Moore, but it's very deep, having to come almost midway inside his own half to get onto the ball. Fernandez collects, rolls it forward to Asgard on the turn. He's got Skov Olsen ahead of him. Again, the pass lacked conviction, easily cut out by Iredale. Now Malotnikov can get his fellow sub Elding away down that right-hand side. He's going to attack Fernandez. The right angle of the box. Fernandez stands his ground, wins it back for Rangers, and then square ball from him to Nikola Raskan, and then turns it into the Hibs half here for Sharmiti. Turns away from Barlasar. Raskan to his right, still it's Sharmiti trying to go all the way himself there, but he runs out of space. Hibs defenders all over him, and it breaks all the way through to Salinger, and it stays Hibs 0, Rangers 0, and Grant Hanley is down.
Liam, again, when Yusuf Chamiti picks up the ball to turn and drive at Hibs' defence, Hibs are 8v2 in their own half. It's only Raskin and Sharmiti in Hibs' half when he picks the ball up at the halfway line, and you look at the rest of the Rangers team, there's no urgency to join the attack, and the attack just fizzles it out. I think Rangers have looked so lacklustre, and you, again, like we've seen over the last few weeks, you're still waiting for them, because you feel as if they've got to have a spell at some point, but it's just not coming at all.
I don't think you can say there about Sharmiti. He has no option but to try and barge his way through 3 or 4 Hibs defenders and try and get a shot away.
No support
at all. He can't even slip it wide and then allow your team to go up the pitch and get bodies in the box, as Grant Hanley obviously lays in the floor. He's his head in his hands as well. Imagine that would mean another change for Hibs.
Yeah, well, they might actually have to
recognise defenders on the bench.
They might have to change the shape here. Hanley has to go off. The veteran is down receiving treatment.
Nicky Cadden come on, beat a drop back in, move one in.
Right, Rangers making a double change by Rami. Diamonde are coming on, and that alteration will also see Skov Olsen come off, and he's just making his way off the pitch now. It's been a bit of a disappointment today, the Denmark international.
He has. I thought he started the game relatively brightly in the first 15 minutes, just through by getting on the ball. Listen, he's been brought to the club to be a difference maker. He's been brought to the club to create chances for open play, which has been a struggle for Rangers recently, and he's not done so. So for that respect, it's been a disappointment. I must admit, when I seen Bajrami get stripped, I thought it was going to be Telo Asgard, but Skov Olsen's the one that's been sacrificed.
Yeah, and Chukwani's come off as well.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think Chukwani's done his job pretty well. He's obviously someone that's came in as a big profile in the middle of the pitch, someone that can turn the ball over for Rangers and try and drive forward, and in all fairness, I think he's done that. I don't think he's affected the game all that much in the final third, but that's not what Chukwani's been brought in to do. That's what Skov Olsen's been brought in to do, and that's the reason Bajrami's came on to try and make a difference in that respect.
Right, Hibs making a double change, and then Hotspur, he's going to replace Johan. 20 minutes to play. 0-0 at Easter Road. Business end of the game just about upon us. And Dane Scarlett, who's played plenty in the Tottenham first team, is going to get his opportunity, Scott Allen.
Yep, listen, as you said earlier, he's played first team football for Tottenham Hotspur at a top level, and he's one the Hibs fans are really excited about. I think David Gray's made really positive changes. Malotnikov coming in, you've seen glimpses of him where he slips through to young Eldon, and now you've got 3 guys up front, young and creative, who, if they can get it right, there will be chances there for them to go and win this game for Hibs.
Oh, well done. Beaten as well against Sharmiti. Over on that right-hand side, risky ball. Barlasa, it's a lovely touch, amounts a long one through. Now there's an opportunity perhaps to get Scarlett involved immediately. Left-hand side of the box, pulls it across, blocked by Sterling. Hibs corner. Immediate impact from Dane Scarlett, who was involved for Tottenham against Eintracht Frankfurt the other night. And he has won his team a corner straight off the bat.
Been the best player on the pitch, Palasa, for me. Again, lovely turn away, and again another switch of play, lovely ball in behind for Dane Scarlett. Gets in the left hand side of the box, tries to flash it across, deflected out for a corner.
You can only hit the balls if you've got willing runners, and that's what we're speaking about in the difference in both sides here.
Nicky Cadden over the corner. There is a win here for Hibs if they want it. In it comes, it's headed away by Moore. And breaks to Barlasser, nods it back out to Cadden on this left-hand side. Raskin wins it back though and finds Meghoma, who clears with the left foot. Picked up in the midfield. Here come Hibs again, and it's Andrews. Out wide left, Nicky Cadden gets the ball in, and it just flashes across Butland's goal. And out it goes on the other side for a throw-in. It looked like that was heading towards the top right corner there.
It did. Kai Andrews, really good play, dives through the heart of Rangers midfield, unleashes Nicky Cadden down that left hand side. And how many times have we seen Nicky Cadden in that area whipping a brilliant delivery? He doesn't quite catch it right. It looks as if it's one of them where it's a cross, it could end up in the top corner at the far side. Jack Butland gets his angles right though, pulls his arms away, and it goes out for a throw into Rangers.
So the one thing that Nicky Cadden offers you as a striker is he's not turning down the opportunity to cross, so you don't need to make double movements. If the ball is worked wide to him, you just need to be in that 6-yard box attacking it, and a lot of the time we've seen him pick a player out. That is the one thing he offers. A lot of wingers in this country doesn't overdo it. If he gets a chance to put a ball in, he'll deliver.
Long ball forward towards Mikey Moore. Can he get him behind here? The goalkeeper comes. Salinger gets there. Bushiri was also there at the edge of the box. Moore was almost in though, as Hibs clear out for a Rangers throw-in on this near side.
Better though, much better for Rangers. That's an inch away from Mikey Moore being one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and it just comes for a straight run forward.
Bayrami at the byline, pulls it back, cut out by Andrews inside his own box. Slips it to his left for Nicky Cadden, who clears. He thinks it's come off the Rangers player, but it will be a Rangers throw-in midway inside the Hibs half. Raskin will leave it to Sterling. Ball back towards John Souttar. Side puts it back to Butland. It remains 0-0 at Easter Road, as it does at Celtic Park. Final 10 minutes of the first half in Glasgow. Here in Edinburgh, a lot further into the match. As Raskin pokes it forward to Asghar, back to Raskin, looks to fire it through to Sterling, cut out, breaks back to Raskin, and now it's Bayrami. Down the right touchline for Sterling, up against Iredale, he's got the cross in, Shermiti misses it, Moore was very close as well, and Megwa deals with it extremely well, right hand side of his own box, really coolly done, and Hibs playing their way out of trouble there as Andrews stabs it back into his own box for Bushiri, who rolls it out to Iredale. So much better from Hibs today. You consider the last two games against Dunfermline and Falkirk.
Yeah, they've defended their box ever so well. They've not had to deal with a whole lot, but I think that's excellent defending from Megwa. It looked for all the world it was going to run out for a goal kick. Dujon Sterling does ever so well to dig out across to the back post, and Megwa just uses his body really well to shield it away from Mikey Moore. But not only that, just doesn't thrash the ball clear, shows a bit of composure and retains the ball for Hibs.
The likes of Oliver Antman and Bojan Miovski remain on the bench for Rangers. Goes out as a goal kick to Rangers after the pressure was put on by Molotnikov down the left hand side, though he couldn't win the ball. It's shielded behind, goal kick. Rangers take quickly, and Fernandez gets it from Butland and strides out of defence, rolls it to Meghoma on the far side, looks to play it up the line for Moore, blocked by Megwa, and out for a throw into Rangers, which Meghoma will take quickly back to Fernandez. We're in the final 15 of the 90 at Easter Road. No breakthrough yet. It's been quite a stuffy game, all told. The best of the chances have come for the men in green and white. Souttar clips one forward, looking for Moore in behind Abita. Good first touch by Moore. Chance for Moore on the left foot, shoots and scores! Flags up! Flags up against Moore. It will not stand for now. He's finished it beautifully, and there was the one long ball caught out Obita. Moore in behind, dispatched it past Salinger, but it has not counted for now, though the VAR team headed up by Stephen McLean will be looking at the replays right now. Andy Halliday.
Well, we just said 2 minutes ago it was the right idea, and it's the first time that Rangers have actually ran in behind and threatened that way, and then 2 minutes later it's a great ball for John Souttar. I think this is tight, Liam. My initial thought it is tight. And listen, regardless, it's Mikey Moore running behind, it's stretching the game, and it's one long ball that puts him in. He does well to wriggle out a pressure, shift onto his left foot, and it's a lovely finish.
Well, Bushiri's the one apparently who might be playing him onside here. Turned it past the goalkeeper as Celtic go in front against Falkirk. And it's first goal for Chvanchara. And it is offside, no goal. Hibs off the hook in the end. It stays here at Easter Road. Hibs nil, Rangers nil.
Real let off for Hibs there. But what I would say is, we spoke about Mikey Moore's impact compared to Gassama. It's Nicky Cadden.
Here's Nicky Cadden wide on the left for Hibs to the byline. It's the crossing, it's a good one. Breaks to the right hand side of the area for Megwa, whose shot is blocked and cleared by Meghoma. Still Hibs come, Megwa across, and Butland holds on at his near post. And with 12 to play, it stays Hibs nil, Rangers nil. The guys have had a chance to have a look at a still image of Mikey Moore and Rocky Bushiri. What are you thinking?
It's incredibly tight, isn't it? It's incredibly tight.
Well, to be honest with you, Liam, to the naked eye, he's in. Oh, he's in.
Down the right hand side, Chance Elding of the Rangers box pulls it back. Chance on the turn, Andrews scuffs his shot, blocked by the sliding Souttar, and Meghoma digs it out with the left foot and clears. Chances at both ends all of a sudden. The game is there to be won for either of them. Bushiri brushes Sharmiti aside. 0-0 at Easter Road, and as I said, Chvanchara has given Celtic the lead against Falkirk. A chance for Hibernian with Milotnikov racing forward and then turning it back the way to Iredale, who strides forward to the edge of the area. Iredale plays it short. Milotnikov can't get onto it. Fernandez almost tackled himself there, and Asgard picks up and slips it forward to Mikey Moore, who'll drive across the halfway line, knocking on the final 10 minutes of the 90 here. Moore manages to slip it out right hand side of the box for Raskan. Chance for Rangers here. Raskan clips it back across, too much on it for Trimiti to deal with, and Hibs have it again over on the right. What a waste for Rangers. Hibs though looking to capitalise. Andrews has made a good run ahead down that right hand side. It's going from one end to the other again. Andrews' low ball across is poor, and it's straight to Fernandez with Scarlett waiting, and then Fernandez gives it straight back to Hibs now with Milotnikov. Then Andrews, right angle of the box. It's a bit level with the edge of the D now, plays it short to Barlasser. Infield here is a shot from distance, is well over the bar from Elding. About 30 yards. It stays Hibs nil, Rangers nil, in a game of what's felt like little quality. It's burst to life in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's became basketball now from end to end, and both teams, when they're getting themselves into great areas, they just can't quite find that bit of quality, whether to pick a pass or the right shot. But it's there for both teams now. Mikey Moore's made a real impact. We spoke about him when he came on, and I said what I like about him is when he plays inside the pitch, he's doing that. He's coming inside looking for passes, and he's been a real difference maker for Rangers since coming on this pitch. And from a Hibs point of view, every time they turn over the ball, they look as if they can get down the side of Rangers.
Well, we're in the final 10 minutes now, and it is Diamonde for Rangers, taking it out to this near side where he rolls it low to Sterling. Bairami ahead of him, back in field it comes to Diamonde. A lot more spaces out there, like tired legs out there as Moore picks up edge of the box, flicks over the outside of the boot. Raskan's shot in the turn is blocked. And now Rangers have committed plenty forward. Hibs will look to profit on that right hand side with Kai Andrews. 3 new signings up front there for Hibs. Long ball from Andrews, he's done brilliantly to pick out Scarlett. Left hand side of the box, looks to play it across, cut out by Souttar, and out it goes for a Hibs throw in on this near side, level with the Rangers penalty spot. Well, Mikey Moore will know all about the dangers of Dane Scarlett, Tottenham teammates on loan at their respective clubs north of the border. It's a Hibs throw in. But whatever happens, I mean, if one of the teams score in these last 10 minutes, it could have incredible impacts felt for the rest of this season.
Yeah, it can. It feels almost too easy to say it, Liam, but at this moment in time, Rangers look a bit leggy to me. It looks as if they've had a game on Thursday night, and the game's just going, I mean, it's going back and forth at some frantic pace over the last 5 minutes or so.
Points not good enough for Rangers now, though,
no,
is it?
I don't think so, especially when you're at this moment in time. Obviously, with the point, you'll be 6 points behind the league leaders.
And plus Hearts' goal difference took another big boost last night. Iredale's long throw into the Rangers box, headed away by Suter, headed back towards goal by Megwa, not once but twice, both times it was cleared, second by Asgard. Raskan nicks it away from Andrews. Moore ahead of him, that's where it goes. Now Mikey Moore crossing the halfway line, driving in the left, looking to return it to Raskan. Across coverings Obita, and he knocks it out for a Rangers throw-in over on the far side. 82 in the clock, Hibs nil, Rangers nil.
Again, Rangers just not doing enough to spring into the attack and get numbers forward. And as the time that ball breaks down, Asgard and Diamandi are still in their own half. So, Rangers still got a couple of substitutions to make. Wouldn't be surprised to see some fresh lives coming on.
Bayrami has it on this near side. Closing stages of the first half at Celtic Park. Celtic 1, Falkirk 0. That game continues on BBC Radio Scotland Extra and 810 medium wave, though they are very nearly at the interval in Glasgow. Chvanchara with the only goal. Celtic in front, 0-0 here. It's Sterling with the cross, cut out by Cadden, and it goes behind. Down here for a Rangers corner. Time is running out. If one of these teams wants to win it, Hibs perhaps not in a title battle, but they've got their own need for points as they chase a European place by the end of the season. I know that 5th place far from guarantees that. As Meghoma waits to take this corner, spots it up there just in the edge of the quadrant in front of the Rangers supporters. Can Rangers break the deadlock here? It's a short corner from Meghoma to Asgard, then back to Meghoma. Left foot cross comes in, looks too close to the goalkeeper, it was, and Salinger holds on comfortably, and it stays 0-0. Salinger boots it forward, looking to get Molotnikov involved, and then Fernandez with a little twist away, or rather Diamandi with a little twist away, and he's got Moore to his left. Fernandez is in position now as Moore picks up over on the far side. Back in field to Diamandi. Low ball down the line there for Moore. Chermiti ahead of him. And there's going to be one last throw of the dice from Danny Rule coming up shortly. Rangers changes. Bojan Mijovski waiting to come on. Here's Bayrami up to the edge of the Hibs box, crosses in, away by Iredale. Now Moore at the box, on the edge of the D now, and this shot's charged down, and Hibs come away in a counter here. And it's Dane Scarlett driving forward now and deep into the Rangers half. He goes up to the edge of the box. Couple of covering players. Suter gets onto it, still alive. The shot is held onto. It was Owen Elding's effort, and Butland goes down and makes a comfortable save. And it stays Hibs 0, Rangers 0 with little over 5 of the 90 to play.
It's a huge chance for Owen Elding. It falls to him on his left foot as well. You think he's just going to sweep it into the corner, and he just doesn't connect well enough, and Jack Butland gathers the ball. Again, Hibs look a threat as soon as they turn the ball over, getting numbers forward.
Fernandez looking for Asgard. Brilliant challenge by Bushiri. Max Aarons will be on, so too will Mijovski. Hibs have it here. It's Cadden playing it off Sterling and out for a Hibernian throw-in on this near side. Here come the changes. Telo Asgard replaced by Mijovski. And Aarons is going to come on for Sterling. Andy Halliday, last throw of the dice by Danny Rule.
Yeah, it is. Dujon Sterling's obviously not had a lot of game time recently, just returned from injury, so started to look a little bit leggy on that right hand side. And then I'm not surprised to see Mijovski coming on for Asgard as well. Giving Rangers a bit more of a focal point with the two up front. Try and make Hibs defend at least for this last 5 minutes. And the game started to open up, so you do feel as if there's opportunities in it for both sides, and whoever can get that elusive goal could have huge ramifications for this title race.
It's massive, absolutely massive. Rangers having got back to within 4 points of Hearts last weekend, you're about to surrender that already in their subsequent league game. The Hearts dropped a couple at home to Celtic last Sunday. Megwa wins the header ahead of Mijovski on the far side. He goes down, there's no foul. Raskin plays it up the line, can't find Mijovski. He's gone out for a Hibs throw.
Raskin just needs to play that pass with his left foot, and it keeps the ball in play. It's that lazy outside with about a tired pass. I think Megwa's had a fantastic game today. I think he's been excellent. When he's been asked to defend, he's defended well. He's won a lot of headers. He showed composure when he's had to.
I remember he had a little flirtation with the Hibs first team and was sent back out on loan to Airdrie a couple of seasons ago. Megwai was on loan at Partick Thistle last season, and he's looked very comfortable out there at right back for Hibs, right wing back. Be it more of a right back now, as that's clipped forward by Hibs down this left-hand side. Souttar's there to turn it back to Butland. 87 minutes on the clock now. Hibs 0, Rangers 0. It's played infield to Fernandez. Moore's made a run ahead. Fernandez would have been an ambitious ball, but Fernandez is on it here. And comes up to the halfway line. Obita being named the man of the match in the background there. And Hernandi singing the praises of Barlaser as well earlier, probably between the two of them. As that long ball's easily away by Obita. And now in field, Diamonde, left of the centre circle, plays it short to Souttar. Souttar then out to this near side. Been no goalless draws in the last 29 between these two. It's heading that way here, but Rangers are going to get a corner by Rami, plays it off Iredale, and a chance here for Rangers as the clock ticks down on them.
Nobody's willing to take it by the looks of it.
I think eventually Jady McGoma is going to come over to whip this one into the Hibs box. 2 minutes left, plus stoppage time. Rangers' need is urgent. Can they win the match, or are they dropping 2 points? The music to the ears of the Hearts fans if they do. McHoma with it, and it comes, and it's a comfortable take for Salinger again on his 6-yard line. Hibs have got options. Salinger's delayed it too long though, and eventually he bowls it with both hands out to that right hand side. It could have gone much earlier than that though. It's Owen Elding driving forward down the right hand side, attacking the Rangers box, using the overlap chance to pull it across. It's behind for a Hibs corner this time by John Souttar. Hibs went from one end to the other. It eventually ended up in a corner. It looked like Salinger had lost the momentum though.
Yeah, I thought when he initially collected the ball, they were away. If he just froze quick, he actually chooses the timing of it was actually good, because it allowed Hibs to get more players forward. Owen Elding driving and then just sliding that ball down the side, and it goes out now for a Hibs corner. Huge chance here. Just watching McGoma after he took the corner, he was still on the halfway line when Hibs were going over to take it.
In swinging corner coming up from Nicky Cadden on the Hibs right as they attack the famous 5 end. In it comes and headed away by Souttar. We are in the 90th minute, almost halfway through it now. Nicky Cadden's got another chance to put it in. Bushiri wins the header, but he doesn't make clean contact, and it's held on to by Butland. Shout for handball against Miovski. He made the challenge on Bushiri as Rangers come forward here with Yusuf Sharmiti down the right hand side, faced by Obita. Back comes Bushiri to make the challenge by Rami on his right foot, right hand side of the box. No one in the middle. He's won the corner though off Andrews. The Rangers players weren't exactly in a hurry to make for the 6-yard box.
Yeah, well, we said 10 minutes ago, is it too easy because they had a game on Thursday to give them the excuse that they look tired? But I mean, I think the events of the last 10 minutes have just proved it. So to get back into position, they then counter-attacked on the right hand side. No, as Chamiti has the ball on the right hand side of the box, Bajrami looks up and there's no one in the box, so it's actually quite fortunate for Rangers it deflects out to the corner.
So 6 minutes added, we're into the first of them. And what's the VAR review for the Mikey Moore goal that was immediately ruled out on the pitch? Did go to VAR, it was very tight. Rangers corner by Rami, outswinger with the right foot, and it comes Raskin, attacks it, looking to win another corner. It's come off him last, and it's a goal kick to Hibs. It's 0-0. And there is a decent chunk of stoppage time for one of these to win it. And the ref wasn't ready. Salinger knocked it forward. I'm not sure why he wasn't ready. He's got one finger up to his right ear, Matthew McDermott. I'm not sure what he's listening to. Does that come in from Raskin? Did it come off a Hibs hand?
Well, Emmanuel Fernandez.
For that, it's been completed. It's no penalty.
Yeah, check complete. Emmanuel Fernandez, 10 seconds after the corner came in, is still berating McGoma why he's not took the corner. The Rangers always take in swingers, but like he says, McGoma, he's that tired he didn't even go over to take the corner, so Bajrami took it and then hit the first man, so Fernandez not pleased.
Goal kick Hibs, Salinger to take. Maybe a little bit of time on top of the initial added time because of that check, long from Salinger, helped on its way by Molotnikov. Elding with his back to goal, does well against Fernandez, gets it back to Milotnikov. The challenge from Fernandez, deep into the Hibs half it goes, and Bita gets there ahead of Chermiti, goes back to his goalkeeper, and Salinger rifles it forward with the right foot first time. Breaks into the midfield for Andrews, works it out to Megwa on that right hand side. Back to Andrews, big switch, and Kai Andrews, he's looked excellent.
He's superb.
His friend Cadden back into his own half for Iredale. Low ball out to Cadden on this left hand side. Infield for Andrews again. Going to be a real asset to this Hibs team for the rest of the season. So disappointed for them to be out of the cup. There's a chance for Hibs perhaps. It's played in behind. Opportunity here, lovely take there, and then Scarlett chops the defender down. After initial good work, it looked like that was opening up beautifully for Hibernian and Rudy Milotnikov with a wonderful bit of skill to shuffle away from the defender. He just couldn't get the trigger pulled.
No, it was a lovely move from Hibs. It all started with that guy Kai Andrews, who you spoke about a little minute ago. He's been outstanding since he came on. He's just creating things in the middle of the park, and it's a lovely reverse pass. You just think, can he get the shot away a bit quick? And then as it comes into the box, Dane Scarlett's just trying to get anything on it and takes out a Rangers defender.
Bairami with a long ranger as well over the bar up the other end. When he had 5 or 6 teammates round about the box, he decided to go it himself. 3 of the 6 minutes of stoppages have been played, and it stays Hibs 0, Rangers 0. Opportunities at either end though, Andy.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable chance for Hibs. You've got to say it's fantastic defending for Manuel Fernandez. Milotnikov cuts in on the left foot, does John Suter, but Manuel Fernandez doesn't give up on it, does extremely well to come back and have that intervention. Play rages onto the other side, and then Bairami, it's a poor decision. Rangers finally get bodies in the box. He chooses to let fly from 25 yards, way over the bar.
Chermiti picks up over on the left and finds Moore. Up against Megwa, midway inside the Hibs half. It's a long raking ball out to the right hand side by Rami. He's going to keep it in play. He's got support from Aarons, rolls it back to Max Aarons, level with the penalty spot. His ball's poor, headed away, breaks to Raskan, back to Max Aarons, plays it across. Opportunity here pass for Diamonde, and a brilliant sliding block challenge by Bushiri, which might turn into an assist here because it's come all the way across the halfway line to Scarlett, left hand side. Hibs have 3 or 4 over on the other side. Fernandez halts Scarlett's an important challenge. Still a chance for Hibs. Andrews rolls it to his right, played out to that right hand side. Elding's waiting in the middle, so Scarlett, and it comes, and it's blocked in behind for a Hibernian corner. And if one of these teams is going to win it, it looks like it's going to be Hibs now, because there's just over a minute left of stoppage time. Hibs 0, Rangers 0.
End to end again. Listen, it's an incredible challenge from Rocky Bushiri that then turns into a fantastic pass. Can't believe Dane Scarlett, once he gets inside, he doesn't open the pitch up. It's on, he takes too many touches. They manage to still keep the ball alive. It then works its way to Eldon on his right foot on the outside the Rangers defence. He tries to flash it across, and it's blocked out for a corner. Nicky can't deliver.
Into the 6-yard box, it's headed away by Raskan. Clearance completed by Moore. Rolled back into the centre circle for Megwa. Dinks the ball out to that right hand side. We're into the final minute of the stoppage time. Iredale toes it back up high down the right hand side for Cadden up against Meghoma. Is there a winner in this for Hibs? Cadden's lost it though. Aarons picks up for Rangers and plays it forward to the left there for Nadeem Bairami. Steps in field, it's weak. Oh, he's lost out. Really poor play by Rami, and he's managed to redeem himself and finds Fernandez. Good footwork from Emmanuel Fernandez, who drives forward. Can Rangers force one last chance? Didn't look likely a moment ago. Out left hand side for Raskan against Megwa. Raskan into the box. Great challenge by Megwa. He's been excellent as well this afternoon, and it's out for a Rangers throw-in on the far side. They might get one last chance to lob this into the Hibs box though. Throw-in's taken short to Meghoma. It's the cross in towards Chermiti. Miovski's in there. It's an overhead kick. It's weak. It's easy for Salinger. It's 0-0, and that will be just about that at Easter Road. Indeed, there is the final whistle. 2 points dropped by Rangers in the title race, and the Hearts supporters perhaps will celebrate more than either of these two teams, because this is a result that's done them a big favour for sure. Rangers were looking to reduce the gap back to 4. It remains at 6 now, as it was last week before the matches. 6 points it is, and Hearts parts of that goal difference advantage as well. Rangers in truth didn't do enough to win this one at any point. Mikey Moore had the ball in the net in the second half. They barely tested Salinger and he was offside. Hibs spurred a whole host of chances in the first half, didn't have as many of them in the second, with Ellie Ewan perhaps most guilty in the first half. Martin Boyle was in one-on-one as well, but in truth Rangers simply did not deserve anything more than the point they've got, and to be honest, Hibs forced enough chances in the game to suggest that they deserve more than the point that they got. It finished here at Easter Road. Hibernian 0, Rangers 0.